You're watching The American on ESPN. Welcome to Tulsa, where Temple's chasing its first 5-win season since 2019. Tulsa is trying to stop a slide and celebrate homecoming with a statement. The Owls and the Hurricane from Chapman Stadium. And welcome upstairs with 10-year NFL vet Lige Douzable. I'm James Westling. We've got Maria Trivalpiece downstairs and a couple of first-year head coaches squaring off in this one. How have both of these guys re-energized their programs?
Yeah, they've brought in a new culture to both of these systems. Both of these guys, Trey Lamb and Casey Keeler, have done it at the FCS level, right? They've turned programs around, now trying to do it in the American Conference. They both have brought that culture to turn things around, and these teams are more competitive than they've been in years past.
And both of these teams have loaded backfields. Jay Ducker for Temple and Dominic Richardson for Tulsa.
We'll start with Jay Ducker from Temple. You see it right there, 560 yards, top 5 in rushing in the American Conference. And boy, James, did he put in work versus Charlotte last week, over 100 yards. He runs through arm tackles. When we talked to Coach Keeler about him, he said he's a salt of the earth guy, a guy that sets the standard. That's why he brought him over for Sam Houston. With inclement weather today, they're going to get him going early and often. And Dominic Richardson, he is the tone setter for this Tulsa team. You see it, stiff arm, get off me. James, he doesn't just go through contact. He seeks out contact and destroys it. He is the tone setter for this offense, and the offense flows through him.
And for more on the Temple lead back, Jay Ducker, we welcome in Maria. Hey, Maria.
Hey, James. Well, I actually had a chance to talk with Jay Ducker before this game, and he told me the reason why he followed Casey Keeler to Temple was because he just wins football games. While they were at Sam Houston together, they were able to rebuild that program, and he wanted to be a part of something like that in Philadelphia. He said he also looked at Tyler Walker's offense and said, hey, he likes to run the ball. I can have a place here, and so that's why Casey Keeler and Jay Ducker are walking on Broad Street and having some success while doing it.
Most wins since 2019, last time Temple went to a bowl game. Rich history on both sides for both programs. Temple set to blast it away. Tulsa wearing the red homecoming throwbacks, set to receive, end-over-end kick. And Tulsa will bring it out. Washington tripped up shy of the 20-yard line. Eric Stewart makes the special teams tackle. Tulsa's quarterbacked by Baylor Hayes. Lige, he's a redshirt freshman, started one game last year with his coach Trey Lamb at East Tennessee State. This will be his third consecutive start.
He's a guy that has a lot of moxie. The team really feeds off that energy that he brings. Also a very mobile quarterback, so quarterback design runs will be up today while he's at quarterback.
From its 16-yard line. Throwing the pocket. Hayes slings it downfield. Breadbasket catch made at the 40. Wiggling through traffic to the 45-yard line. His favorite target, Zion Booker. That's his 45th catch of the year.
It's a great job by head coach Trey Lamb, changing the launch point. I talked about how mobile he is. Get him on the move, right, so he can see the entire field. Talked about his #1 receiver, Zion Booker, runs a corner route, gets some space from the corner. Explosive play to open the game for the Golden Hurricane.
A 29-yard pickup. On the sweep. Step toe. Brought down in the backfield. Lost a yard. Tackle made by Jalen Castleberry, the transfer from Youngstown State.
What a job by Jalen. And right there you see at the mesh point, there was almost a fumble. Step toe has really stepped up the last couple of weeks at receiver. But you see the corner right there. Jalen Castleberry does a really good job disengaging from the block. He has contained, James. He saws down step toe for a loss.
Second down and 12 for the Golden Hurricane. Misdirection. Plowing up the middle. Richardson. He'll make it a manageable third down. Powell, the stopper.
And you see the physical ability of Dominic Richardson. You're going to see the tight end, number 23, Landon Lucas. He's going to pull from right to left, come around on that counter play, opens up a hole. And we talked about it in the intro. He's just a physical runner that seeks out contact. They're going to lather him up early in this game.
Nearly 5 yards a carry and 600 yards. A top 4 rusher in the American. Tulsa has ventured into plus territory. The check down underneath to the tight end, and a truck stick to the 40. That's Brody Foley, one of the top tight ends in the nation.
Great read by quarterback Baylor Haynes. He got the RPO. He can run the zone right here. He pulls it, finds his tight end to the flat, Brody Foley, and that's the thing. When you're 6'6", 260 pounds, you're going to drop that shoulder going out of bounds. Foley, to your point, has become one of their more explosive weapons on offense the last couple of weeks.
Coming off a career day against East Carolina, had 126 yards. Hayes keeps it himself, and he's buried for a loss. Charles Calhoun, his third TFL, his second sack of the year.
Great responsibility defense. He has quarterback responsibility on the zone read right there. Baylor Hayes, that's a give read. See Calhoun, he looks like he's going down for the dive. He baited the quarterback. Quarterback pulls it. He does a nice job attacking the upfield shoulder and getting him down for a loss.
Transfer from a Division II school, Gannon. Makes it second down and 15. Sweeping left, step toe, looking for a kick out block. Twisted out of bounds after a 14-yard pickup. It's 3rd and 1.
Nice play design by Trey Lamb. They're trying to get Zion step toe out in space. He's had a couple speed sweeps last week, had one earlier this game. Nice blocking on the outside. That's the running back, A.J. Allen, number 2, getting out in front, blocking for his receiver. They just want to test your leverage, right, in your contain. Right there, Temple loses contain and leverage. Zion step toe, running with some determination right there.
On 3rd and short, they roll the pocket. Hayes whips it, reeled in by Steptoe, who steps out of bounds to pick up the first down and move the chains. There is a flag out around the 20.
Pass interference, number 19, offense. 15-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
And that goes against wide receiver Grayson Tempest.
Yeah, so they moved the launch point again. If you're Grayson Tempest, he's in the slot. He literally is just trying to run a hitch route and get in the way. It's a natural rub route, but he runs into the defender, and they call OPI. You see Trey Lamb does not agree with the call.
This Tulsa offense had churned out over 400 yards and 27 points a week ago through 3 quarters, but then they were shut out in the 4th frame at East Carolina.
And this is where they struggled last week versus East Carolina. They were in 3rd and long too often, right? That's a self-inflicting wound. You get an offensive pass interference. You add 15 to that. Trey Lamb is aggressive usually when they cross the 50. They would need probably at least 10 yards here for him to feel comfortable to go for it on 4th down.
3rd and 17. Hayes avoiding pressure, pumping, slips it downfield, and he's down at the 31. Reeled in by Josh Smith, the redshirt freshman who the coaches said would get some extra playing time today. There is a flag way back in the backfield.
Going to get a hold on the right tackle, I believe.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 33, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
It's the outside linebacker, Curly Ordonez.
This is a nice job by Baylor Hayes getting outside the pocket. And right here, you see the roughing the passer. Both hands towards the face mask. They're going to call that every time. That's a nice job because this right tackle, Brody Foyle, who's actually starting because they move right tackle Cam East to left tackle because Jaquan Adams is banged up. He got beat off the snap, so that's a nice job using his mobility, rolling out to the right and then finding Josh Smith in the void in zone coverage.
After the 15-yard mark-off, a 1st and 10 in the red zone. Richardson submarined at the 15 after a gain of a couple. Tulsa is 11th in the American in red zone scoring, trying to finish these drives. On 2nd and 8, Richardson. Stonewalled at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. And it sets up 3rd down. Allen Hay, who's become a vocal leader up front for the Owls.
It's a nice job by number 8. You see him right there in the middle, one of those single-digit guys, which is an honor for Temple. He's a guy that's really stepped up after that Navy game, has been more vocal, to your point. Right there does a nice job disengaging from the center and holding that run to a small gain.
Where's one of those Temple tough single-digit jersey numbers, number 8 for the 2nd year in a row. 3rd down. Outside, Richardson cut down immediately. Jameer Jones with a form tackle.
And James, he had to get through a lot of traffic. They're trying to do this rub route where they get Dominique Richardson to the flat. He does a nice job not running into any of his players on defense, getting over the top, and then was able to cut down Richardson to get them off the field on 3rd down. That's a great job in man coverage, not getting rubbed with some of those rub routes and getting over the top to cut down Richardson and get off the field on 3rd down.
4th and 6. Tulsa trots out for a 31-yard field goal for Seth Morgan. And the kick is good with a penalty marker out.
I think it's offsides on Tulsa.
Illegal formation, offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
3rd flag on this drive. This has been an 11-play, 71-yard series for the Golden Hurricane.
So it makes this extra point a little bit more difficulty. And where they're saying illegal formation, everybody has to break the belt line of the snapper. So their right tight end was too far off the ball, so it's an illegal formation. That's why the ref threw the flag.
36-yard attempt now for Morgan, who's 2 for 3 this year between 30 and 39. Laces are spun. And he drives it through to give Tulsa a 3-0 lead. A 6.5-minute drive, and Tulsa's on the board. They lead it 3-0 here on homecoming. Homecoming from H.A. Chapman Stadium in Tulsa. The Golden Hurricane mascot swirling with a 3-0 win, or lead, I should say, after a 36-yard field goal from kicker Seth Morgan.
Number 10, is wearing number 12 on kickoff.
An impressive drive by Tulsa. 11 plays, 66 yards, 6.5 minutes off the clock.
Love the balance. The young quarterback, Baylor Hayes, looked real comfortable. Love what Trey Lamb did, moving the pocket for him, changing the launch point. He's comfortable throwing on the run. So doing things that his young quarterback is comfortable doing.
This is returnable for Bermudez. Accelerates and gets planted at the 27-yard line. Lige Duzable, your do's and don'ts for the Temple offense and the Tulsa defense.
Yeah, first of all, for the Tulsa offense, avoid 3rd and long now. They were able to convert one of those 3rd and long, James. They did a really good job that first drive, not being in 3rd and long. That killed them versus ECU last week. Don't for the Temple defense. Don't allow Dominic Robinson yards after contact. We talked about how physical he is as a runner. Dudes for the Temple offense, get Kajaya Holloway going downfield. This Tulsa defense really struggled giving up explosive plays. Kajaya is a big receiver that can go downfield. And a don't for the Tulsa defense, don't give up leaky yardage in the run game, which they did last week versus ECU.
What a tackle. Ty Cooper blows it up, the Tulane transfer.
The edge guy gets up the field, right? Reckless abandon, JoJo Bermudez. They like to get him on this speed sweep just to try to get him in space. That's a nice job getting up the field, being disruptive by Ty Cooper.
Just completely smeared off the edge. Temple's a top 5 scoring offense in the American, 33 points per contest. Up the gut, Ducker. Bottled up at the 24. Ty Newhouse, the stopper. 3rd and long for the Owls.
And that was the emphasis when we talked to defensive coordinator Josh Reardon, right? They gave up way too much leaky yardage in the run game. Ty Newhouse, that nose tackle up in front, does a nice job disengaging and holding that to a small gain.
Temple plays mistake-free football. Just 1 turnover all year. That's tops in the country. 42% conversion rate on 3rd downs. This is 3rd and 13. 3-man rush. Simon, a bullet. Sidestepping a would-be tackler. Powering ahead for a 1st down. He hits his tight end, Peter Clark, for 13.
James, if you like tight end play, I think it's National Tight End Weekend, too, if I'm not mistaken. This is the game for you. Peter Clark does a nice job finding the void in zone coverage right in the middle of the field. Nice patience by Evan Simon. Looking to safety off to the left, finding his tight end in the middle of the field. Both of these teams love their tight ends and like to give them the ball in the middle of the field and down the seam.
Clark has over 300 yards, and he's caught 4 touchdowns this year. Simon, a new set of downs, takes a downfield shot and wings it out of bounds, intended for Colin Chase. It's 2nd and 10 after the incompletion.
Nice coverage by number 21, Lento Smith Jr. does a really good job on that corner route in the slot position, right? Doesn't give Colin Chase a 2-way go. Literally veers him to the sideline, causes an inaccurate throw from Evan Simon.
Temple is 4 and 3, but they're 1 play, 1 point away from being 5 and 2 and coming in with a 3-game winning streak. They run the option, they pitch it out. Stop and start from Bermudez, and he darts out of bounds. Solid chunk of 5. It's 3rd down.
That's offensive coordinator Tyler Walker being inventive in this offense. Talked about getting Bermudez the ball in space right there. They motion him almost every single play, Jay. So they pull out the old option, try to get him to the edge. Nice job by the Golden Hurricane defense rallying and holding that to a small gain.
Temple picked up their first 3rd down of the contest on this drive. Their opening series for the Temple offense. Some window dressing, a screen to Bermudez. Ball gets wrenched loose, bouncing free out of bounds. It'll be a big loss either way. It's 4th down and 11 for the Owls.
Yeah, Josh Reardon sends some pressure, so they run the screen off of it. They have the blockers in front, but that's a nice job by number 18, Zach Williams. Look at him like a chainsaw. Rip that ball away. They aren't able to get on the ball, but they're able to get off defense. That's a nice job defeating the block by Zach Williams, and then presence of mind, not just to make the tackle, but rip the football away to help the Golden Hurricane get off the field on 3rd down.
Second forced fumble of the year for Zach Williams. On the punt, Dante Atten. Low line drive, it's muffed, and then put out the fire at the 17. Sends us to a timeout. Second time, Tulsa's offense will take the field. Coming up next. Tulsa by a field goal. Well, we just saw Temple punter Dante Atten. He is from Melbourne, Australia, and he's not the only one. Why recruit just Philadelphia when you can recruit worldwide? Temple has a whole slew of players from all over the globe, and for more on one of those guys, we get on stairs to Maria.
And that one guy I'm going to talk about is Peter Clark. And I'm curious, guys, because I was like, London, England to Philadelphia. Peter, I need to know the story. And he said, well, I knew I was coming to America to go to college, and I didn't want a complete culture shock. I wanted something that was city-ish, just like London, and Philadelphia fit the bill. So he's a Temple Owl, guys.
Philly, the new London. 1st and 10 for Tulsa. Quarterback Baylor Hayes completed all 4 of his passes on his first drive. Ejected from the pocket, trying to keep the play alive, and eventually he's flagged down back at the 11. Dante Pollard eventually gets to the quarterback for another sack.
It's a nice job by the Temple Owls in zone coverage, passing everything off. Baylor Hayes has nowhere to go. Tries to get outside. Nice job rallying by, I believe that's Caton Supernaut, who eventually ends up getting that sack.
Second Owls sack in this first quarter, knocking Tulsa off their schedule. It's 2nd and 15. Hayes, a deep drop, bouncing, hurls it, and it is dropped. Julian Roberts was wide open. The redshirt freshman couldn't bring it in.
Coach Trey Lamb said they probably would be in a little bit more 12 personnel, which is 1 back, 2 tight ends. Julian Roberts, the young redshirt freshman, literally they saw him from right to left on a drag route. He gets dropped in zone coverage, ends up just taking his eyes off the ball too soon.
From Dallas, went to J.J. Pierce High School. About a block and a half from yours truly. 3rd and long. Handoff up the middle. Powering Richardson, nowhere to go. And it's 4th and 13, and that's a throwaway possession for Tulsa. They'll have to punt after they go 3 and out.
And going back to the do's and don'ts, right? Staying out of 3rd and long, they really struggled. When Baylor Hayes has been quarterback, 3rd and long, they're only converting that 13.3% of the time. When it's 3rd and short, James, they're converting 50% with Baylor Hayes at quarterback. So, again, you can't have miscues as far as the drop ball. You can't take a sack on 1st down right there if you're Baylor Hayes. Once you get outside the pocket, just throw it away. They were behind the sticks, behind the 8 ball, and Temple was able to get off the field on 3rd down.
From a league down under, it's a battle of 2 Australian punters today. Low line driver from Davies, Bermuda into plus territory. Hog-tied out of bounds close to the 40, and Temple will have outstanding field position for their 2nd series. Immediate timeout with 3:50 to go in the 1st. Tulsa leading by a field goal. Three to nothing. Tulsa, off the foot of Seth Morgan, leads it by a field goal. The 100th homecoming here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Evan Simon has been efficient. 16 touchdowns, no picks. Only 2 guys in all of FBS have thrown for 10 or more scores with 0 interceptions. A clean sheet.
James, he's so efficient with the football. He knows, it understands leverage and how to keep his receivers out of harm's way. We talked about it. No interceptions on the season. And he doesn't go broke taking a profit. If the first guy is open, he's going to let that ball go.
That was a frozen rope to Bermudez, and JoJo has his 2nd grab, moving the chains and putting them at the 24.
Yeah, they're heavily involved in the JoJo Bermudez business, right? Nice punt return right there. Cover 2, that's the void, that's the whole shot right there. High safety, underneath flat defender. Nice job getting the foot down by JoJo Bermudez right there.
1st and 10, Owls on the move at the Tulsa 24. Ducker is sidecar left, the running back. They shift him and have to call a timeout. Play clock winding down.
Timeout. Temple, the first of the half. 30 seconds.
He comes with 3:09 to go in this first quarter. For more on this incredible season that Evan Simon has put together, let's go downstairs. Maria?
Well, Evan Simon works really hard at his craft, guys. I heard from multiple sources that he actually spent time sleeping in the film room. He had an air mattress in there, and we asked Tyler Walker about it this week, and he said one time in fall camp he went through to the supply closet to try to find something, and he got spooked by Simon sleeping on the air mattress. So it's just so he can get a little bit extra film in and work really hard on his craft, but you see it paying off this season.
He helped the coaches revise some of their third down terminology. What's the biggest difference you see from him this year to what we saw last year?
Just playing more decisive, right? We started seeing it at the end. Me and Maria had the pleasure of calling this game versus North Texas, the last game of the year. And then that second half is more of what we're seeing this season. Decisive with the football, knowing where to go with the football, not second-guessing himself. And also, he's used his mobility more this year. That's a facet of his game that not a lot of people talk about. But he's a guy that can get on the edge and escape pressure.
Great point. Almost 200 yards rushing this season. Simon drops, chucks it for the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Kajaya Holloway on the receiving end, his 4th touchdown of the year, and Temple has their first lead.
And James, don't you love it when the do's and don'ts come to fruition, right? You want to get your big receiver, 6'4", 220 pounds. Look at the body control right there on that back shoulder fade. Gives him a shake at the top of the route. Nice little soft push-up at the top of the route, then is able to have the body control to keep his body in bounds, reach out, grab that ball with that big 6'4" frame, and come with a touchdown. He is their big playmaker down the field. Nice job by Evan Simon, finding Kajaya Holloway to get the Owls on the scoreboard.
A highly touted quarterback prospect out of high school. Went the JUCO route and then UCLA, ends up at Grambling. One more JUCO, and now Temple, where he has shined. Point after is through, and Temple leads 7-3. That was a 24-yard strike.
That's a nice job also by Evan Simon, understanding the zone coverage. They were in a 3-deep zone. If a receiver goes vertical, that essentially becomes man, and you're going to bank on your bigger receiver going up and making a play. Just talking to offensive coordinator Tyler Walker, I said, Tyler, do you think Kajaya has a chance at the next level? I'm like, because this kid can really run. 6'4". You see the pass right here down the field from JoJo Bermudez on that play, and this is the touchdown pass to Kajaya Holloway. But getting back to what Tyler Walker said, he was like, to your point, James, this guy was a quarterback. He's still learning the nuances of the possession. And they said, as much as success as he had this season, the more that he plays the receiver position, the more they're going to put on his plate. So you've seen it the last couple of weeks. They've put more on his plate as far as the route tree, and he's become a big part of this Temple Owls offense.
Coming off a 5-catch, 98-yard effort against Charlotte. Had a 90-yard kick return touchdown the week prior against Navy. He is a playmaker. Ensuing kick into the end zone for a touchback. 3 and change left here in this first frame. Temple leads 7-3 over Tulsa, coached by Trey Lamb in his first season. He was at East Tennessee State last year. Really turned around the Gardner-Webb program at the FCS level. Spent some time as an OC at Tennessee Tech. Very new age, analytics-driven, offensive-minded coach.
And James, everywhere he's been, he really wasn't expected to win, and he turned those programs around. He talked about Gardner-Webb and ETSU. Both of those programs, he wasn't expected to win in his first season, and he did. He said, this isn't a rebuild for Tulsa, right? We're trying to refortify and turn things around here.
Loss of 1 for Richardson. And he was very, very direct in terms of what's at stake the rest of the year for the Golden Hurricane. They are still vying to make a bowl game. That is a benchmark that they set preseason, and that is the target.
Yeah, they had a rough start to the American Conference. When you look at some of the teams they played, played some of the better teams, right? They played Memphis, who upset USF. They played Tulane. They played Navy, who's undefeated. So they feel like this back half of the schedule, they really have a real shot to turn things around this season.
Underneath on 2nd and 11, step toe. He's become an impact player for the Hurricane. There's a marker back around the 32.
Offensive pass interference again.
Pass interference. Number 80, offense. Pass distance to the goal line. Repeat second down.
Foley, the tight end. Second time they've been flagged for that.
And you just got to be smart, right? You're going to see it right here. You see Foley making contact right there, not only with the defender on him, but then also the defender trying to get over the top to get to Zion Septo. So if you're Brody Foley, just got to be smart there, right? Just run your dig route, or not your dig route, but your hitch route, and turn around. You're going to get a natural pick. No need for you to put hands on the defensive back. They're going to call that every single time.
Play action. Hayes, top shelf, one-on-one, incomplete. Tulsa wants a flag. They are begging for it, and they won't get it.
And that was just a really great play by Pooh Lawton. He does a really good job being that half-field safety. He gets his head around. James, he has just as much right to that space out there on the field than Zion Septo. You're going to see it right here to the bottom of your screen. Watch number 16. He gets his head around. If anything, that could have been almost an OPI on Zion Septo. So nice job by Pooh Lawton right there to get that PBU.
Temple rotates a ton of guys on defense. They played 29 defenders through 3 quarters last week. 3rd and 23. Out of the pocket, Hayes delivers, and it's broken up. Curly Ordonez on the coverage. 4th down.
And the one thing Brian Smith, the defensive coordinator for Temple, will do is play a lot of man coverage. That's a nice job by a linebacker, Curly Ordonez, being hip-to-hip with Brody Foley. And again, self-inflicted wounds, right, James? 3rd and long, they've struggled. I'll give you the stats one more time. 13.3 conversion rate on 3rd and long, 3rd and short. They're converting at 50% of the time. You can't have self-inflicting wounds if you're this Golden Hurricane offense.
They've been penalized 3 times for 32 yards on their first couple of series. Davies gets a good roll out of bounds. And Temple will start this drive at its own 40-yard line, looking to add to their 7-3 lead. And Temple's known for their fast starts. They've scored 28 points in the first half 3 times this season.
Yeah, including last week when they kind of ran away with that game versus Charlotte. And if you're the Golden Hurricane defense, this is a big drive for you, right? You don't want to be looking up at the scoreboard being down 14-3 because you then almost become pass happy too early in this game. So it's a big drive, right? They did a really good job the first drive going 3 and out and even forcing a fumble on that opening drive. They need a big-time stop if you're this Golden Hurricane defense on this drive.
1st and 10. Handoff, Ducker. He's been quiet so far, and he continues to be bottled up after a gain of just a yard. 2nd and 9 for the Owls.
I believe that was Ray Coney, who, when I asked defensive coordinator Josh Reardon about him, I said, Coach, does Ray Coney ever get tired? Because when you watch the tape, right, he barely comes off the field, and he's always flying around. And the thing about Ray Coney is he's a guy that has a lot of tackles. They just want him to take that next step as far as diagnosing plays. Instead of making tackles for 3 or 4 yards, make them for 1 yard or even negative yards. And right there, he does a really good job getting downhill.
RPO underneath, incomplete. Broken up around the 45. J.D. Drew on the coverage for the Hurricane.
Yeah, J.D. Drew was right there in the slot, does a nice job on the RPO, right, not interfering. He secures the tackle with the outside hand and then swipes with the left arm. Nice job right there on Colin Chase, knocking that football away.
The secondary might be the strength of this Tulsa defense. 3rd and 9. Temple is 1 for 2 on 3rd downs. Pressure, twist up front. Simon, that ball's batted and nearly intercepted off the fingertips of Chase. It's 4th and 9, and the Tulsa defense forces a 3 and out.
And it was simulated pressure. They drop one defensive end, and they run a stunt up front where Ray Coney, who's probably their best blitzer, he does a nice job getting in that viewpoint of Evan Simon. I believe he tipped the ball at the line of scrimmage, forces an errant throw, and I talked about it, James. That was a massive drive for the Golden Hurricane defense. They do their job and get off the field, 3 and out.
2 big plays from Coney. Atten, one of the top punters in the country. trying to pin Tulsa deep, and he does. Fair caught at the 9-yard line. And that is the 14th punt this season that Atten has dropped inside the 20-yard line.
Which is why he has a single digit. He's one of their better weapons in regards to flipping the field position. When you look at this Golden Hurricane offense, right? We talked about the self-inflicted wounds. How about they get the guy that sets the tone for them going, right? Dominique Richardson. They need to get him going on this drive running the football.
He's been relatively quiet the last 3 games. Post Oklahoma State when he rushed for 146 against the Big 12 in-state foe. On the sweep, Booker twisting to the 16-yard line for a gain of 6.
What a play by number 19, Jalen Castleberry. You're going to see it on the right side of your screen. He defeats this block, right? They're trying to push him to the sideline. Disengages, comes inside, and holds that for a small gain, because that play had big play potential, but he does a nice job defeating the block and folding back inside to make that tackle.
Castleberry was playing at the FCS level for Youngstown State before he arrived here to Temple.
Double move.
Hayes over the top. Booker adjusting. A wrestling match for it, and a catch. At the Temple 44-yard line, Avery Powell on the coverage.
Nice job by Baylor Hayes. You see the pump fake, that's a double move. Slot fade. Nice job by Zion Booker, the number 1 receiver on this team. Tracking that football, coming away with an explosive play. That's just what the Golden Hurricane needed on offense.
And it comes on the last play of the first quarter. After 1, Temple leads 7-3. Tulsa has life on this drive when we come back. Tulsa already has 5 chunk plays, which is a rush north of 10 yards or a pass completion of 15 or more. Look at Hayes' numbers, 5 for 8, 94 already in this first quarter.
Talked about it earlier in the game. He seems like he's just more comfortable right now in this game as far as them moving the pocket for him. He's comfortable throwing on the run. And even on that last throw, right, to show the pump fake to hold his safety to get Zion Booker down the seam on that slot fade for an explosive catch.
A 40-yard completion on the last play. This is the first play of the second session. And Hayes keeps it, jitterbugging straight ahead.
Ball
popped out. It's a fumble, and it's recovered by the Temple Owls.
Ruling on the field, the fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
And Temple is now plus 10 in the turnover margin on the season, top 3 in the nation.
And that's the thing that they do. They don't beat themselves, but they force you to turn the football over. Right there, if you're Baylor Hayes, you're in that tight window where there's so many arms around you. You got to protect the ball and put it away. And also, honestly, James, I thought that was a give read. He literally had Kelvin Washington on the edge. I thought he should have been able to hand that ball off and get the ball. I believe that's Russell Sykes, the fourth, that comes away with that fumble recovery.
Hay wrenched it loose. Sykes on the recovery for more downstairs. Maria, that's a huge swing play.
Well, this Temple defense has had a different kind of energy, guys, ever since they stepped on the field. I was watching them during warm-ups and then also when they came out of the locker room, and they just look so excited and energized. They're playing really tough, too. You can physically hear them hitting the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, so that's why they're able to make plays like that.
Temple swings it out, and the Tulsa defense has something to say about that. Swarming to the football. A massive loss of 7+.
And there goes that man again. Originally, it was Devin Robinson, 16, but you see who finishes it off. Ray Coney, number 0. He just never gets tired. He always has elite effort to the football. That's a nice job by number 16, Devin Robinson, who is their star position, kind of like that nickel position. He does a good job forcing that back inside, and Ray Coney finishes it off.
Robinson is just a sophomore playing in his 17th career game. Most of those he has started the last 2 seasons. Between the tackles, a run play. Ducker belted by Ray Coney after a 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, that's a nice job by number 18, Zach Williams. Talking to defensive coordinator Josh Reardon. You're going to see it to the right of your screen. Number 18 come in and fit Zach Williams. He said we're going to probably have to play a little bit more man coverage, James, and bring our safeties into the run fit. They struggled last week, giving away some leaky yardage. So those safeties, right, Lento, Smith, Jr., number 21, and number 18, Zach Williams, will be heavily involved in the run fit today.
So 4-2-5 base defense, 3rd and 13 for Temple, who's 1 for 3 on 3rd downs. Pressure off the edge, they grab him, a fistful of jersey, and rope him down like a rodeo. Jaden Burnett, his 8th sack of the year.
He's their best pass rusher. He's a guy that on 3rd down, Coach Reardon can say, go get the sack. That's exactly what he does. Flag on the play.
Was it a horse collar?
Personal foul, first collar tackle, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Got him too high. Take another look.
Yeah, right there, gets inside of the shoulder plate. It's a nice job with his hands, bending on the edge. And that looks like that was more jersey than anything. I don't like that call at all. Again, he's in the pocket, he's getting pushed on, he grabs the jersey. But I know that you can't grab the nameplate, so by the letter of the law, it is the right call. But that's tough if you're Jaden Burnett, right? That was a really good rush on 3rd down.
Burnett has quietly become one of the top pass rushers in the American. 6.5 sacks coming into this contest. Top 3 in the league. After the mark-off, it's 1st and 10 Temple, venturing into plus territory at the Tulsa 47.
Now, if you're the Golden Hurricane defense, how do you respond after having some adversity, right? You get them in 3rd and long. You think you get a sack, you're getting off the field. You get a horse collar call. Now you got to reinvent that energy again, right, James? Bring that energy you just had and how good you felt after getting off the field on 3rd down, right? They have to let that last play go, continue to play defense.
Major point of emphasis this week from head coach Trey Lamb is handling these type of situations. 1st and 10. Run play, and Ducker is It's been tough sledding between the tackles. Just a gain of a yard. Devin Robinson hit him first.
And again, he plays a star position. We talked to Coach Reardon, and he said, I'm going to have Devin. I'm going to have Zach Williams, number 18, number 21, Linto Smith Jr. They're going to have to heavily be involved in this run fit, which means some of our corners may have to play man coverage, right? Elijah Green, you see him up top right now with Kajaya Holloway, who had the touchdown earlier.
Ducker, finally a seam. A stiff arm still trucking to the 19-yard line. Biggest run of the day for Ducker.
And this is what plagued him, a misfit right there. You see number 0, Ray Coney. He tries to backdoor that block. He has to get that over the top. He's sending it to number 16, Devin Robinson. He backdoors it, and it opens up a hole for Jay Ducker. And with the speed he has downfield, and you see it right there, you're not going to arm tackle him. Nice little stiff arm for number 21, Linto Smith Jr. Jay Ducker's going to run with purpose. But they talked about this. Josh Reardon, the defensive coordinator, James, when we met with him yesterday, said we can't have the leaky yardage. We can't have the misfits. That is what plagued them last week versus East Carolina.
27-yard rip on the outside to the tight end. A chunk of 7 or 8 to Clark. His second catch, Williams ushers him out.
It's a nice job by Evan Simon. Again, if the first read is open, James, he's letting the football go. Right there, we see it, I believe, a sideline official went down.
For an injured train crew personnel.
Hope he's okay, because he took a mean shot right there from Peter Clark in the flat route.
And that's 6'6", 265 coming at you with a full head of steam. Take an injury timeout. Temple leading 7-3 here in Tulsa. Peter Clark rumbling out of bounds, and Chumbawamba, he gets knocked down, but he gets back up, and our guy appears to be okay. He was nursing his shoulder a bit. That will certainly rattle your view from the sidelines. He's 100%. It's 2nd down and 2. 7-3, Temple leads just outside the 10-yard line. It's been the Jay Ducker drive, and he is short of the line to gain. Picked up one. Ray Coney with his third tackle.
Yeah, right there, they stem him at the last second, which means they move him, right? He's the off-the-ball linebacker. He shifts to the line of scrimmage. They go a bare front, which is 3 big defensive linemen inside, 2 outside linebackers. He does a nice job crossing off the edge to stop Jay Ducker from picking up that first down.
3rd and 1. Ducker again. Ducker hits. Coney trying to wrench him backwards. No signal. He is short. It's 4th down.
I mean, what a play getting downhill by Ray Coney. You see it right there. Mano a mano in the hole. Nice job right there by number 15, Ashton Williams. He assists Ray Coney to finish off this tackle. But that was a nice physical tackle by Ray Coney to hold the Temple Owls short of the first down. And it looks like Coach Keeler will go for it on 4th down.
Temple doesn't go for it a ton on 4th down, but they have the #1 conversion rate in the country.
And for some play action pass to the flat, one of these tight ends.
4th and a yard. Ducker slicing, and he has it. Moving the chains for a gain of a couple. Left side behind Hills and Pelu.
I love that Casey Keeler put it on the offensive line and those 3 tight ends that they brought in the game, and Jay Ducker gets just enough to get a first down. They go split zone. Number 33, Ryder Kush, who's coming back from an injury, blocks from right to the left side, and he follows him and gets just enough to pick up that first down.
First and goal. Owls knocking on the door, trying to expand on their lead. Sweeping to the edge. A flag comes in as Chase navigates to the 3.
That's going to be offsides by number 10, Tim Hardeman, the defensive tackle for Tulsa.
Lento Smith and J.D. Drew made the stop.
Offside, number 10, defense. Half the distance to the goal line. Repeat, first down.
It's Tim Hardeman.
Yeah, just got to be smart right there. Can't let the snap inflection of the quarterback get you jump offside. We always were talking on defensive line, James. Ball key. Watch the ball. Ball key or movement. Then you can take off on the football. Right there, he jumps a little bit early.
That is the 5th Tulsa penalty. 51 yards. First and goal from inside the 5. Simon pops it over the top. And to the 1 goes Holloway. Wrestled down by Elijah Green. What a matchup that is to watch today.
And that's a matchup I'm excited to watch, right? Elijah Green has 5 interceptions. I'm not mistaken, leads the FBS right now. Kajaya Holloway already scored a touchdown on J.D. Drew, so it looks like Elijah Green will be traveling them. He's also a bigger corner at 6'2", 195 pounds. And it looks like Kajaya Holloway got banged up on that last play.
Green is 6'2", 195, a sophomore from Midwest City here in Oklahoma. Simon pulls away from center, play fake, outside, touchdown, Jay Ducker. Temple adds to their lead, their largest of the day. It's now 13-3.
It's a nice job by Evan Simon, faking that run, getting to the outside. Jay Ducker gets dropped to the flat. Easy pitch and catch. You see him doing a little duck dance at the end when he gets into the end zone. But nice play design by Tyler Walker. That's actually the type of play I thought they would run maybe on that 4th and 1. They save it when they're near the goal line. They run it. Jay Ducker gets into the end zone to extend the lead for the Temple Owls.
Ducker became the first player in FBS history to rush for over 100 yards at 4 different schools earlier this season. Point afters through. Temple leads 14-3, trying to spoil another homecoming. This drive, 10 plays, 59 yards, Lige, 6:36 off the clock.
Brought to you by that man right there, Jay Ducker. Right there, misfit by Ray Coney, gets an explosive run. And then right here, simple to the flat concept. He's wide open. You see it, the little duck dance at the end when he gets into the end zone.
Yeah, duck, duck, touchdown.
I like
7
that.
carries, 37 yards. That was his first catch of the game. 59-yard drive that was aided by 2 defensive penalties for 19 yards.
And that's what has plagued Tulsa this entire game, whether it's the OPIs on offense or right there we get the horse collar once you get a sack. And now another mistake, right? We come in to catch the ball, Kelvin Washington, the freshman right there, falls to his knees. In college, once your knee hits the ground, you were down. But it looks like he may have fair caught that one.
Well, Baylor Hayes, the Tulsa quarterback, 5 for 8 passing, 94 yards today, including that big one to Booker.
Unfortunately, though, it really hasn't transpired into points on the board, only 3 points. And it's because of what we talked about. But he's looked way more comfortable in the pocket, out of the pocket, throwing the ball down the field. Right here, you see Zion Booker on this slot fade. But again, these self-inflicted wounds in the last drive, he turned the football over on a quarterback power play, led to points for the Temple Owls.
Midway through this second quarter, stretch play to Richardson, probing, and not much there. No gain on the carry.
I talked about it earlier, James. They got to get him going, right? He's the tone setter on offense. They've really struggled. You can tell Temple put an emphasis on really mitigating this one and run and making the young quarterback beat them.
Booker looking to turn the corner. Scampers out of bounds for a gain of a couple, but sideline to sideline, this Owls defense, they're always fresh because they play so many guys.
Nice job by number 39. You're going to see him up top versus Brody Ford. That's a tight end. He defeats the block. That's Jameer Jones. He does a nice job defeating that block and getting to the outside to hold contain.
Tulsa with some tempo and a bomb, and it's incomplete, and a flag comes in, intended for Zion Steptoe. Ben Osweke was on the coverage.
And it's weird because the sideline judge near him didn't throw the flag.
Pass interference, number 24. Defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's a preseason all-league defensive back.
It was the middle field judge, and they put him in man coverage all the time. He's a veteran guy who's played a lot of football. I don't like that call. There's not much there, James. He gets his head around. Yes, there's some hand fighting at the top, but he gets his head around. So, again, interesting that the sideline judge that was actually closer didn't throw the flag. The middle of the field, referee threw that flag.
Backside pressure. Hayes feels the heat and delivers a dot. Castleberry makes the tackle on Josh Smith.
Coach Trey Lamb said Josh Smith would get more opportunities this week. He looks different than all the other receivers. He's 6'5", 225 pounds. Right there, though, you see the speed in the open field.
Here's that Tulsa tempo once again. They've been faster paced on this drive. Completion to Jacob Emmers for a yard.
Yeah, trying to get the Temple defense off kilter, right, with this hyper-speed offense that they run.
NASCAR tempo. Hayes stepping up. Wide open. It's Foley to the 15.
Really nice play design by Trey Lamb. Right, they roll out to the left, bring Brody Foley from the left to the right on an angle route. He's wide open because he gets dropped in zone coverage. Miscommunication right there by number 33, Curly Ordonez, and the safety. They both went with the guy that was running the wheel route.
Second catch of the game for Foley. 1st and 10. Angling left, Richardson down to the 9-yard line. And an injured Owl.
Official timeout for an injury to a defensive player.
Avery Powell, a strong safety, had an interception against UTSA earlier this year. 35 tackles, has been very active so far in this game.
Yeah, interesting story about Avery Powell. I believe he got in an accident and missed majority of the spring practice. He actually is a transfer, but also a converted corner. Like, this is his first time playing safety, but he's not the biggest guy at 5'10", about 160, 165 pounds. But boy, does he show up in the run game. He's a fearless competitor back there. So it'd be great to see him come off this field because Coach Smitty, I call him Smitty, Brian Smith, is a guy that really leans on Avery Powell, number 29.
Powell's got a couple of tackles in this contest for the Owls defense. Now Dominic Richardson looking to get on track. That was his longest rush of the day on that last play. Maria, he has 7 rushes for 19 yards in this game so far.
Well, he's been a key component for Tulsa this entire season, guys. And when I talked to him earlier in this year, I said, you've made a lot of stops in your college football career. What was it about the Golden Hurricane that made you want to come play here? And he said, well, I'm from Oklahoma, and his parents and his dad, Andre in particular, is a big reason why he chose Tulsa. He said his dad has impacted him throughout his entire career, and now he gets to come to all of his games. So that was a huge component. You'll see his dad in the stands. He sits right up in the end zone. Sometimes Dom even looks up to him when he scores a touchdown. So just a really great bond between the two of them, and a big reason why Dom is here in Tulsa.
Dom went to high school in Oklahoma City. Almost 2,000 career rushing yards between Baylor, Oklahoma State, and most recently at New Mexico State last year. And he's the Hurricane top rusher this season. 2nd and 3. Hayes, zone read, keeping. And he wiggles to the 5 to move the sticks and make it 1st and goal.
Yeah, similar play that he fumbled on earlier in this game. They do a nice job free releasing Brody Foley. They pull the guard around, quarterback power. Nice job getting north and south by Baylor Hayes.
This will be the 8th play of this drive that has spanned 70 yards in less than 2.5 minutes. A change of pace. Foley's in at quarterback, and the big bruising tight end off right tackle powers in for a touchdown. First career rushing touchdown. What can't he do?
And James, man, we had the privilege of going to Friday's practice, and they ran this play. And I was literally said the same thing. What can't Brody Foley do? Nice job right there as a Wildcat quarterback. And you see it right there, the physicalness at the goal line. I got reservations for 6. You're not stopping me. Way to bring some energy into this stadium. And that was a massive drive for the Golden Hurricane offense to get back on the scoreboard.
Trims it to 14-9, and the point after slips inside the right upright. Back to a 1-score game. Timeout on the field with 5:20 to go before the half. Temple 14, Tulsa 10. An 8-play, 75-yard scoring drive capped off by Brody Foley, who's been tremendous today.
I mean, coming off of what he did last week, over 126 yards with 6 receptions. Talking about it, James, what can he do? Meet the linebacker at the goal line, you're not going to stop me. And the Wildcat gets into the end zone. He's been one of their better playmakers the last few weeks.
8 plays, 75
number 10
yards.
is number 12 for Temple for the kickoff.
2:51 off the clock. Foley averages almost 20 yards per catch. Second in all of FBS among tight ends.
And James, something to talk about. This is what Tulsa went through last week versus ECU. Every time they would cut it down to like 3 points or 4 points, the defense would give up the score. Trey Lamb talked to us about that. Complementary football. Let's see if the Golden Hurricane defense can come out here and get a big stop.
Into the end zone for a touchback. And Maria, Brody Foley has really burst out of nowhere this season.
Well, offensive coordinator Brad Robbins only had good things to say about Foley. He said he is so intentional with every single thing he does. He's more of a quiet guy, but when the lights come on, he's the person that you want to have the ball in their hands. They ask him to do a lot. You just saw that on that last touchdown, guys. And listen, I know that Brad Robbins said that he is quiet, but I heard a lot coming out of his mouth when he scored that touchdown from both him and his teammates. So we might have to follow up on that statement.
He's a gamer. 1st and 10. Temple. Big burst. Smith. One cut and go. Hunter Smith. Brought down at the 2-yard line. Elijah Green makes the touchdown saving tackle.
And he was the unblocked guy that originally missed a tackle. Another misfit. Ray Coney gets over the top right there. Whoop! Now you see me, now you don't. Hunter Smith, he's more of their Swiss Army knife, but you see the speed in open field. That's a really good job by Elijah Green and number 21, Linto Smith, to not give up on the play. But you see the speed that Hunter Smith possesses. Again, we talked about it, complementary football. This is exactly what plagued them last week versus ECU. Your offense scores, gives you all that momentum, and then you give up an explosive run.
An absolute backbreaker for the Hurricane. 1st and goal. Smith popped at the 1. Brings up 2nd down. Smith is the game breaker. He had a 65-yard touchdown run week 2 against Howard. He had a 58-yard touchdown against UTSA, and 2 plays ago, 72 yards.
The offensive coordinator, Tyler Walker, called him a combination back. He can do a little bit of everything, but you talked about it. You see the speed right there, 60-plus yard run. He already had one earlier this season. Again, if you're the Golden Hurricane defense, this is massive here, right? You probably have 3 downs to try to stop them, to try to get the momentum back, but you cannot give up explosive runs after your offense just scored.
2nd and goal. Smith pushing the pile.
Think he's short.
He's short again. 3rd and goal.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see number 20, Jay Ducker, come into the game right here. And actually, he's going off to the sideline. Looks like they were trying to pay it off with Hunter Smith right there. I figured Jay Ducker, the big physical back, would come in, but they took him and put him to the sideline.
Ray Coney with back-to-back assisted tackles. This is 3rd and goal from the 1.
Quarterback sneak.
Simon sneaking, pushing. A flag comes in, and there is no signal yet.
I don't think he got in.
It will be 4th and goal for the Owls. He did not get there. Check the penalty.
Offside, nose guard, defense. After this to the goal line, repeat, 3rd down.
Ty Newhouse, the guilty party.
Yeah, I think it was actually maybe Joe Yelly, number 90. But again, self-inflicting wounds. You have another big stop right there, James, but it gets negated because of not having awareness to where the football is, right? We always talk, you look down at the football and put your hand down to line up off of that and make sure your helmet is back. Now they get another opportunity from like the half-yard line, and they're gonna have 2 downs most likely if you're the Temple Owls right here to get into the end zone for 6.
3rd and goal. Smith stuffed. It's 4th down. He lost a half yard.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to say, I wonder how aggressive Casey Keeler will be, because it wasn't like he got back to the line of scrimmage. He lost yardage right there, but it looks like he's going to keep his offense on the field. And this is why I talk about going back to Lento Smith Jr. and Elijah Green. Never give up on a play. That's a nice job tracking the ball carrier Hunter Smith down. 4th down. Last time they gave it to Jay Ducker. He got into the end zone. Let's see if offensive coordinator Tyler Walker throws another wrinkle in it and maybe gets Evan Simon on the move here.
Temple can take this down to the 2-minute timeout. And this is where
2-minute timeout.
That built-in timeout really helps, with right at 2 minutes to go. 4th and goal from the 1 when we come back. Fourth and goal. Tulsa's defense had a couple of 4th and goal stops against Navy. Temple leads it 14-10. 2 minutes to go before the half.
You're the Golden Hurricane defensive line. Watch where the ball is, right? Do not jump off sides and have them move it up another yard. This is almost a full 2 yards right here. So you got to be smart. Look for Evan Simon to potentially use his legs.
Simon slicing, lunging. He did not get there. A 4th down stonewall from the Hurricane defense.
And mama, there goes that man, Ray Coney. He goes down for the dive initially. Look how he retraces his steps and gets Evan Simon. I talked about it, James. Look for Evan Simon to potentially use his legs.
The 156, 156.
To potentially use his legs. They run the option play. Nice job by somebody having the pitch of Jay Ducker, but also Ray Coney falling back inside. And I go back to that play from Elijah Green and Lento Smith Jr., right? The effort that they showed on that play to run down Hunter Smith to give their defense another opportunity.
Coney has a game-high 8 tackles in this first half. Richardson re-energized. A chunk of 6 on first down, looking for some breathing room for the Tulsa offense.
If they're able to get a first down, then you'll see them use that hyper speed offense. But right now, they don't want to give the ball back to Temple. So nice job huddling up right here if you're Trey Lamb. Right, make sure everybody's on the same page. You get that first down, then you go hurry up 2-minute offense.
Second down and 4. Hayes tosses too tall and incomplete. That will stop the clock with a $113.
And that's just being a young quarterback right there, right? That was a tough throw on an RPO. He had an opportunity to get to the edge and potentially run, but he saw his receiver was open. The ball sails on him, but that is the worst thing to happen if you're Trey Lamb because it stops the clock, right? If they get stopped right here, Temple's going to have really good field position. So would not be surprised if this is a run-pass option where Baylor Hayes has the opportunity to run the ball and use his mobility.
A massive third down. Hayes avoiding pressure, unloads it, wide open. Tempest knifing.
Timeout.
Just shy of midfield to the 45-yard line.
Oh, you're going to be on the ball. Now they go hurry up. What a job, though, by Baylor Hayes navigating the pocket. Watch how he hitches to the right and hitches up, finds Grayson Tippins from the right to the left for a big explosive play.
38 yards. Hayes, quarterback draw, angling out of bounds.
Smart play.
A chunk of 11. He doesn't look like a redshirt freshman on this series.
And I was just going to bring that up, right? We saw earlier him make a young mistake as far as throwing the ball in the RPO. Right here, nice job. He could have got probably maybe 6 or 7 more yards if he cuts back. He does a nice job getting out of bounds so everybody can huddle up, take their time, decompress, make sure they have the right call on this 2-minute drive.
42 seconds before the half. They run it with Richardson. Accelerates close to the first down. A gain of 6.
Timeout.
Timeout, yep.
Tulsa, the first of the half. 30 seconds.
38 seconds to go before intermission. Tulsa has not led since it was 3-0. But the coach calling the plays, the coach quarterback combo. Your thoughts on that on this 2-minute drill?
I mean, what a play on third down. Again, feels some pressure, keeps the ball tight to him, navigates the pocket, finds Grayson Tippis on that over route, and then presses the mind on that quarterback draw, right? I could cut back right, James, maybe get 5 or 6 more yards, but let me save some time for my offense. Head out of bounds, gets out of bounds with a positive gain of 10 yards on that quarterback draw. You talked about it, even though he's a young quarterback, playing like a veteran right now is Baylor Hayes.
Well, on the clock management from Coach Trey Lamb, who also calls the plays.
Correct.
It's been a work of art on this series. 5 plays, 62 yards, 1:18. They're almost into field goal range.
Yep.
And it's second down and 4, and they still have 38 seconds and 2 timeouts to play with.
Yeah, Coach Trey Lamb said around the 30-yard line for Seth Morgan. That's where he's really comfortable. Said in the half, game on the line, he'd probably stretch it out to 55 yards. So you talked about it, James. They're only about 7 yards away from feeling comfortable to trout Seth Morgan out. But it looks like the way they've been playing, the Golden Hurricane is looking for more than just 3.
Second down and 4 after the first timeout. Richardson got smacked, powering his legs to pick up a yard, and Tulsa will have to burn another timeout.
Tulsa, their second of the half, 30 seconds.
Caton Supernaut hit him in the backfield. Tulsa's a team full of notable transfers, including Richardson, Micah Tees, and Makai Miller, who's out with an injury. And then Foley, the tight end's been fantastic. A couple of offensive linemen in Hill and East, and Byron Turner's had an impact off the edge.
Yeah, all these guys have had an impact for this team. More specifically, Dominic Richardson today, Brody Foley. We've already talked about him at nauseum. And he saw Cam East, right? He was a big get in the transfer portal, guy coming from Ole Miss that hadn't really played. But, man, does he look the part. They feel like he can play on Sunday. And also with Jaquan Adams out, right, he's the right tackle. He goes to left tackle, use the athletic ability, and they bring in the sophomore Brody Duffel, who's starting at right tackle. So they've hit on the transfer portal of guys that have come in and been contributors right away.
Doing this without their left tackle, Jaquan Adams, as you noted, had an active 31-game playing streak come to an end.
And if you're Baylor Hayes right here, right, if you don't like something, remember your mobility is up. They need about 6 or 7 yards to feel comfortable in field goal range.
Presley on the sweep has the first down and races to the sideline to save some clock and get out of bounds.
And he's their Swiss Army knife, right? He's listed as a running back, but they'll put him out at receiver right there. He was at receiver, and they get him on the edge. Speed sweep. Temple loses leverage and contain. He gets to the edge, not only picks up the first down, but gets out of bounds as well.
A high school legend in the state of Oklahoma gives Tulsa a first down. Right at the 30. Hayes, delayed pressure, rolling, checks it down. Presley wrapped up at the 6.
Spike it, get everybody lined up.
15 seconds, down to 1 timeout. Hayes, quarterback draw, angling, slipping, and going down back at the 7. Wet field had an impact, and Tulsa has to burn their final timeout.
30 seconds. They said the game clock 8 seconds.
And now they got to be careful, right? With only 8 seconds and no timeout, like the ball has to go into the end zone. And right there, if you're Baylor Hayes, I know you wanted to make that move, but it looks like he had the edge to potentially get to the edge and get into the end zone. Also surprised after that big completion of Braylon Presley, which was another nice play by Baylor Hayes, buying time using his mobility, that they didn't spike the football. They seemed like they were just rushed right there. They run the quarterback draw, but he slips and falls, and now you have to burn your last time out.
8 seconds. Tulsa trying to punch one in before halftime. And 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line.
Now, James, I was at practice yesterday. Number 15, Josh Smith. Trey Lamb said he was going to get more opportunities. They threw a couple fades to him. This is a scenario, right? At 6'5", 225 pounds. If they line him up into the opposite boundary, which he is the far receiver out, the X-receiver, could they potentially maybe run a rub route or maybe even a fade to him right here?
And
Temple, their second of the half, 30 seconds.
Their chess move is to call their second timeout. Smith was lined up towards the top of your screen. 8 seconds left. Temple leads 14-10. This has been an impressive drive. 9 plays, 91 yards to this point.
The guy maneuvers in the pocket and finds Grayson Tippis on this over route on 3rd down. Nails by the young quarterback, showing moxie. Also another job, nice job right here on the quarterback draw. Presence of mind, let me get out of bounds and start instead of trying to be greedy. And again, using the mobility, finds Braylon Presley, who uncovers, gets another explosive catch and run. Right now, they're inside the 10, right? They have an opportunity to take a shot at the end zone, right? Really bring life back into the stadium and walk away with a first half lead.
And Hayes is pacing to shatter his career highs, which he set across the board, completions, yards, and touchdowns last week against East Carolina. 2nd down and goal after back-to-back timeouts from the 8-yard line. Smith towards the top, number 15 in red, their big target in the red zone. Hayes looking left, floats it back.
Oh, I think he got a foot down.
Touchdown!
That right foot drag.
Brody Foley. What a grab, and Tulsa has their first lead since it was 3-0.
James, oh my God. Watch the body control. Fade route, right to the corner route. He gets that left foot in bounds. The thing is, did he have control of the football when that left foot hit? It looks like it to me. What a catch and what body control by Brody Foley. I talked about maybe going to Josh Smith at 6'4". Why not go to your big tight end at 6'6"? Runs a nice corner route, and what a touch pass by Baylor Hayes to find his tight end for a touchdown.
No review necessary on the field from upstairs. It is a score. And the point after is right down the pipe. 17-14 Tulsa. That was a 99-yard scoring drive.
I mean, again, the moxie of this young quarterback drifting back Look at the touch on this pass. He puts it with only Brody Foley can catch it on this out route. And that's their best cover guy. That's Ben Osweke right there covering him one-on-one. What a touch pass by Baylor Hayes. Coaches talked about it, right? It seems like the team is galvanized by the energy this young quarterback has. He has a moxie about him. He has a confidence about it. And you see it.
Number 12 for Temple on the kickoff.
And you see it right there on that last drive. You talked about it, James. 99-yard drive right before half. That was nails by Baylor Hayes and the Golden Hurricane offense.
Fourth 90-plus yard touchdown drive for Tulsa this season. Tulsa's team has a lead, 17-14, right before the half.
And James, that was also massive because Temple gets the ball coming out at half. So it's important for them to get points away right before half because Temple is going to come out on offense when we start the second half.
Tulsa's scored 2 touchdowns in this second quarter. 10 plays, 99 yards, a minute 52. Squib kick from the 6-yard line. Bermudez giving up some ground. Dancing and wrapped up back at the 13 on the final play of this first half. What a swing. A 4th down stop on 4th and goal from inside the 2. 99 yards the other way. Tulsa has a lead. Maria's with Coach.
Coach, you told us that you wanted this team to play complementary football today, and you did it at the end of that second quarter. How impressed are you with your guys?
Finally. I mean, been waiting for that for a few weeks. Baylor's making some really off-schedule plays, playing really well. Still losing the turnover margin 1-0. We got to create a turnover. We got our hand on a couple balls, and it keeps bouncing back into their hands. We need some luck there. PIs, we've had 2 offensive PIs on us. I don't know. I have to see it. And then the horse collar led to a touchdown. So we're playing pretty good football. We got to get the run game under control and let Baylor keep playing.
What has impressed you most about both Baylor and Brody Foley, especially on that last connection?
Well, it's cover 0. We told him you're either throwing it to Brody in the back corner where he can catch it or nobody else can, so we can kick a field goal, and it was an unbelievable throw and great catch.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thanks.
Guys?
That it was. And Hayes over 200 yards passing in this first half. The 100th homecoming here in Tulsa, and the Hurricane lead it by a field goal at the break. It's a homecoming Saturday here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa leads Temple 17-14 here at intermission. For the top plays in the American, we send it over to the studio, Maria Tribalpiece.
Welcome into Studio A. I'm Maria Tribalpiece. Postseason for women's soccer is approaching, and it was rivalry week in football, so naturally we had some craziness across the conference. I mentioned rivalry week in the American. This is one of my personal favorites. The battle for the bones, UAB and Memphis. Blazers started with an early lead, but Sutton Smith had something to say about that. He'll take this ball 99 yards to the house. Oh my goodness. How about that women's soccer that I promised earlier? Here's North Texas and Rice. Mia Bernard in front of the net. Some fancy footwork. She scores the goal. Some more action from the battle for the bones. This one coming from the Blazers. Backup quarterback Ryder Burton to Iverson. Hooks in the end zone. He makes the catch. I'm not really sure how. Comes up with the ball. And oh, by the way, Blazers win this game. Here's some more women's soccer for you. Memphis and East Carolina. Ashley Henderson is the offensive player of the week for a reason. She had 1 and 2 goals. That was her second, coming off the header. The rematch of last year's American Conference Championship game did not disappoint. Tulane and Army, and somehow that ball pops into the hands of Shaz Preston. Jake Retzloff can't believe it either. Green Wave win this one. If you see a top play this week, make sure you use the hashtag #AmericanTopPlays on social. Keep it right here. We have more action coming up for you on ESPN+.
What a finish to that second quarter. We're at the half. Tulsa leads Temple 17-14 in a thriller here on Homecoming. Coming up after the break, first half highlights, stats, and we'll get you set for the second half from Tulsa, Oklahoma. The 100th homecoming here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa leads Temple 17-14. Welcome back upstairs with Lige Duzable. I'm James Westling. Maria Trival-Peace is the third member of our team. And Tulsa, even in their losses this season, they have showed some signs, some encouraging things under first-year head coach Trey Lamb, and we're finally seeing it come to fruition here today.
It's all about how you handle adversity, right? And then also complimentary football. Trey Lamb talked to Maria about that. Last week versus ECU, they really struggled in that department, right? Every time the offense would score, the defense would give them an explosive. Well, they gave up an explosive, and then they had a 4-play stop right at the goal line to give the ball back to their offense. Masterful 99-yard drive to take the lead right before half.
Right before the half. Less than 10 seconds
Literally.
on the clock with that final throw from Hayes to Foley to give Tulsa the lead. Some of the first half highlights. Temple, they really owned things at the start. They had a 14-3 lead. It looked like they were going to run away with it.
Yeah, you see the back shoulder fade by the big receiver. Kajaya Holloway, 6'4", go up there, body control, and then Jay Ducker right here, right? The physicality up the field. This is where Tulsa had struggled all year long, right? Giving up the explosive run plays, and then you see Ducker with the duck dance right there as he gets into the end zone. But the resolve of this young Tulsa team right there, Baylor Hayes finds Zion Booker, his #1 receiver on the outside, maneuvering in the pocket. Slot fade back to Zion Booker again. And then Josh Smith got in on the party, the big 6'4" receiver. And then Brody Foley said, I can do it all. Just give me the ball, coach. Right there in the Wildcat, gets into the end zone. And what a touch pass by Baylor Hayes right before half to find Brody Foley, that guy in the back of the end zone. Toe touch, little toe drag swag to get into the end zone to take the lead right before half. You see how fired up the young quarterback is.
Hayes has a career high, pacing for a career high. He already has a career high for a half, over 200 yards. Tulsa by a field goal at the break. The 100th homecoming for Tulsa, and the Hurricane lead it 17-14 over Temple. Temple led 14-3 The last two
Number
scores
10,
coming
square number 12
from the Hurricane.
Temple
And
on the
Maria, what
kickoff.
did Temple coach Casey Keeler, how does he feel about where his team sits?
Well, overall, when I chatted with him, he was incredibly calm. He said he gathered the team in at halftime and said, look, guys, this is football. Things like this are going to happen. We can't panic right now. Keeler did say that he thought that getting stood up on the goal line caused the team to be a little bit less confident in themselves, but he thinks that they're going to be able to get that back in the second half. He said there were some self-inflicted wounds, and he wants to see his team play a little bit cleaner in the second two quarters.
He has a veteran bunch, a lot of newcomers, but they're older guys. End over end opening kick to start the second half. Bermudez to the 20 for the Owls. Temple has the ball to start this third quarter, trailing by 3. Quarterback comparison. Simon, 62 yards. The red shirt freshman Baylor Hayes is going bananas.
Yeah, Evan Simon hasn't had to do much in the passing game because they've been able to run the ball effectively. They've had multiple explosive runs, and you talked about it. Baylor Hayes, growing up in front of our eyes, only 19 years old, playing with a lot of confidence, not just within the pocket, some off-platform throws, as Coach Lamb talked about right before half.
Temple starts this drive from its 21-yard line. Simon to the air, and he hits Holloway for a gain of 9.
It's good to see him back in the game. Remember, he got banged up right before half. Quick out route, timing base route between quarterback and receiver. Nice job cushioned by Elijah Green. He does a nice job snapping that out outside to get a positive gain on first down.
Temple wants to be balanced offensively. They leaned more on their rushing attack in that first half. And between the tackles for a first down, churning ahead for a gain of 3, they move the chains. Alexander makes the tackle.
And it's funny that you brought that up, James, because I talked to offensive coordinator Tyler Walker about that, and he was saying it's interesting when people always talk about balance, right? They're almost balanced. I believe they have 200, right under 210 yards passing per game, 170 yards rushing per game. And you know what he told me, James? I want to run the ball more. Well, indicative of what we saw in the first half, right? Because they run the ball exclusively more in the first half than they did throw the ball.
Yeah, 6 more rushes to passes. Pop pass. This is a big gainer. That tight end is moving. Peter Clark. Waste management down to the 20.
And James, let's start off this broadcast saying, if you like tight end play, this is the game for you. National Tight End Day. Great job. Nice play design by Tyler Walker, right? You fake the speed sweep, you buy the eyes, and then you sneak Peter Clark down the seam. That's where they really want to give him the ball. Bad eyes by the Golden Hurricane defensive backs. And Clark, you talked about it. He's a tough guy to bring down at 6'6", 265 pounds.
A gain of 50. The Owls set up shop in the red zone, 1st and 10. Handoff, stutter step, move, and Ducker. A gain of 7 on first down. Linto Smith makes the tackle.
Talking to defensive coordinator Josh Ritter, and that's what he was saying about offensive coordinator Tyler Walker. He does a really good job of marrying the run and pass game. Again, you're able to get your tight end down the field because of the heavy play action look on the fake, on the speed sweep, right? It buys everybody's eyes, James. You sneak the tight end down the field. Tyler Walker does a really good job of marrying the run and the pass game.
Temple averaging 6.3 yards per rush today. Simon, 3-step drop, sliding, delivering, Ducker.
Got it in there.
Duck, touchdown, number 2. Second touchdown of the day for Ducker, and Temple is back in front.
Yeah, and that's tough if you're a linebacker or safety having to cover Ducker out of the backfield on this angle route. I believe that's number 33, William Alexander. He has him in man coverage. He rolls like he's rolling a wheel route, then he breaks back in on the angle route. Nice accurate throw by Evan Simon so he can catch it and run after it, splits the 2 linebackers, and gets into the end zone for the touchdown.
Coming into this game, Ducker had caught a total of 10 passes. He has caught 2 touchdowns in this one. And Temple with the point after leads 21-17. A 5-play, 79-yard scoring drive to open the second half.
Temple with the 21-17 lead after a Jay Ducker touchdown. We've talked a lot about the Temple running back today, and when I had a chance to catch up with him earlier in the week, he said a big reason he's had so much success throughout his football career is because of his older brother, Tristan. Tristan played wide receiver at South Dakota, and every single game, the two of them will watch the film back and see what Jay could do better. Jay also said that Tristan has helped him with his footwork and different skills throughout the years as well. So a bond through football and really helping each other get better through the years, guys.
He's had a huge impact on this game for the Owls today. A couple of receiving touchdowns. And their second leading rusher. That's a touchback. Back and forth we go. Haymaker after haymaker. And a big swing that Tulsa looks to counter with Baylor Hayes at quarterback.
It's almost like a seesaw, right, James? The way it's going back and forth and back and forth. And this is what Trey Lamb, the head coach for Tulsa, was talking about, right? Complementary football. They had this same scenario play out versus ECU last week. Every time they would cut the score down, then the opposing offense would get a couple explosive plays and score. And right there, right before half, the Golden Hurricane had a really big opportunity to quell some of that momentum. Right now, Temple has it back. Let's see if the Golden Hurricane can answer.
1st and 10. Step toe on the sweep. Runs into his own guy and gets to the 31. 6-yard gain on 1st down. Pollard, the stopper.
And Coach Trey Lamb has found something on these speed sweeps, right? Temple continues to lose leverage on the outside. Staying ahead of the chains, we talked about it, James. When they're in 3rd and short, they're converting at 50%. When it's 3rd and long, they're converting at only 13.3%. So nice job to stay ahead of a change right there. Dominique Richardson with a nice physical, tough run to pick up the 1st down.
New set of downs. Richardson's up to 33 yards rushing today after a gain of 6. And Tulsa's out to its 37-yard line. On 1st down, play fake. Hayes over the roof. Step toe off his fingertips. Incomplete. Only the 5th misfire from Hayes today.
And Zion Steptoe gets the defensive back turned around. He runs a post route right here. He fakes the corner, then runs the post. Beats number 19, Jalen Castleberry. And he talked about it just in front of the outstretched arms of Zion Steptoe. I've talked to many quarterbacks, James. They say that's the hardest throw, right? Because when a guy is wide open, you don't want to put too much on it, but you don't want to put not enough on it right there. Baylor Hayes just put too much on the football.
A reverse. Booker out of bounds for a gain of 2. He cocked back like he wanted to throw.
Yeah, and Demerick Morris, number 40, was the guy that blew that play up. Now, they ran this yesterday at practice, right? This reverse throw to Baylor Hayes. Nice job by the Temple Owls in defense. Everybody playing responsibility defense. Nice job by number 40. Demerick Morris getting up the field, and Zion Steptoe, right? We see so many receivers want to throw that football. He does a nice job not forcing it down the field and picking up about 3 yards on a busted play.
3rd and 7. Tulsa's 3 for 7. Spinning away from trouble. Hayes trying to keep the play alive, running out of real estate. Downfield, Smith. 1st down, Hurricane.
What a play by Baylor Hayes, right? Cameron Stewart off the left side. He spins out, gets to his left, right? Now as he's starting to run, watch the Temple defenders commit. Josh Smith, presence of mind to go backwards. They always say in scramble drill, you either work to the quarterback or work away from him. Nice job by Josh Smith working away from Baylor Hayes and getting that explosive catch on 3rd down.
Hayes throws it away, and it draws a penalty marker on Jameer Jones.
He's tied up with Brody Foley right there.
Pass interference, number 39, defense. 1st down.
Automatic 1st down for Tulsa. They're in the red zone at the 16.
I mean, the moxie of this young kid, right? Coach Trey Lamb talked about him with the off-platform, off-script throws. You see another one on 3rd down there. He just never seems like he's rushed or under pressure. He's not playing like a 19-year-old redshirt freshman.
Play action, a dart, back shoulder. Foley couldn't get twisted. It's incomplete, and it's 2nd down and 10. Ordonez on the coverage.
Yeah, they try to get him on that back shoulder fade. That's a nice job by Curly Ordonez, number 33, being chest to chest with Brody Foley, and he's giving up about 3 or 4 inches height-wise right there. Does a nice job being physical with him at the top of the route, and then making sure he can't come down with that back shoulder fade catch.
On 2nd down and 10 from the 16. Richardson straight arms the defender and steps out at the 9.
It's a nice job by left tackle number 73, Cam East. He does a nice job reaching the outside guy, which gives Dominique Richardson the edge. Nice job by number 73, right? Caving that line down so Dominique Richardson can get to the edge there to get a nice manageable run on 2nd down to get this a 3rd and short. Tackle over.
An unbalanced line. Hayes pitches it out to Richardson, and he gets tattooed at the 10. He will not get there. No gain, and it's 4th down. Cameron Stewart hit him first.
Cameron Stewart does a nice job slipping the block right there. There's a miscommunication between Brody Foyle and number 73, Cam East. He splits both of those guys, gets up the field. You can see at the bottom left of your screen, right? Nobody picks him up. He splits him, gets in the backfield, and gets Dominique Richardson down for a loss. And Trey Lamb being aggressive here on 4th down.
4th and 3, they'll go for it. Down by 4. At the 8-yard line, Hayes is in some trouble, slips it to Foley, and Foley stretches to move the chains. Castleberry chopped him down.
I mean, again, Braylon Baylor at Hayes, just calm under pressure, right? Pressure in his face, just flicks it out there with touch. Nice catch by Brody Foley in the flat for a 1st down.
Hayes breaking a tackle, then he goes down. Tackled by the turf monster for the 2nd time, right in this same neighborhood inside the 10-yard line, trying to make a cut.
And when you look at it right there, you see a lot of those pellets up right there. It's a little dark spot right there. That's the 2nd time he's tried to make a cut in the open field. And like you said, the turf monster got him.
2nd down and goal from the 7. How do you manage these next couple of play calls if you're Trey Lamb?
Yeah, you want to be aggressive here. Trust your young quarterback. Would not be surprised he has an RPO, run pass option. We saw Baylor Hayes use his mobility, and here it is again.
Hayes to the 5. It's 3rd and goal. Stewart has made 2 tackles down here in the red zone.
Your eyes have to be on number 80 right here, Brody Foley. Last time, right before half, he catches a corner route for a touchdown. Look for him to maybe get him on this nub side, right? He's on the short side of the field for them to potentially go for him right here in the red zone.
Towards the bottom of your screen, lined up on the left, number 80. 3rd and goal. Play clock winding down. Hayes, a shoulder roll. Looking, locks in and fires.
What a
It's
catch.
a touchdown. Grayson Tempest, Mr. October on the receiving end.
And what a dot by Baylor Hayes. They're going to go sprint out to the right. Nice block by number 21, Dominique Richardson. And look where that placement is, James, on an out route. He puts it only where Grayson Tempest can come down with the football. I mean, that is a dot by the young quarterback. Look at the moxie. Look at the confidence this young quarterback is playing with. What a throw by Baylor Hayes.
A point after would make it another field goal lead for Tulsa. Looking upstairs to confirm the score. The pass, the catch, and the touchdown for Tulsa. Remarkable.
And what I really love is they keep continuing to change the launch point for this young quarterback. He's definitely comfortable throwing the ball on the run. From our vantage point on the review, didn't like there was anything that was questionable right there, and it seems like it is going to stand and it is going to be a touchdown. But what a throw by Baylor Hayes right there on that out route to Grayson Tempest for the touchdown.
Morgan on for the point after to cap a 12-play, 75-yard drive. Tulsa 24, Temple 21. A thriller on homecoming here in Tulsa. The 1923 team 1949 homecoming. And today, fireworks on the 100th year of homecoming here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. 3-point lead for the Hurricane. That last drive for Tulsa, 12th place, 75 yards, right at 5 minutes.
Yeah, right there. Testing the leverage of the defense from Temple. Nice job. All platform throw by Baylor Hayes to find Josh Smith. He finds his big tight end on a crucial 4th down. Brody Foley. And what an absolute dot to Grayson Tempest to take the lead in this game.
Hayes is 14 of 20 passing, 243, a couple of touchdowns. Tulsa led at the half, trying to move to 3-0 this season when leading at the break. Ensuing kick. Angling into the end zone for a touchback. Temple coached by Casey Keeler, his first year, 275 career wins, the 5th fastest coach to 250. Was the only coach in FCS history with national titles at 2 different schools. Did it at Delaware and Sam Houston. Took Sam Houston to 7 playoff trips in 9 years. Known for his rebuilds. Back in the Northeast, where he was at Delaware from 02 to 2012.
And James, he's like, it's not a rebuild, right? When you look at the history everywhere he's been, he's won right away. He says, if you want to be realistic, don't come play for me, right? Because we live in a world where we do the unimaginable and impossible. So he was like, for them, like a lot of people didn't see Temple being this good this year. Yes, their goal is to get to a bowl game. Yes, their goal is to go to the conference championship game. He's like, if you're realistic, don't come play for me, because we live beyond the means of realistic.
Trying to get their 5th win of the season, an inch closer to bowl eligibility, which would be the first since 2019. 9-yard gain at 2nd and 1. They run it with Hunter Smith. Churns ahead to pick up the first down. Now, the last time Tulsa had the ball, we saw Baylor Hayes slip a couple of times on these quarterback scrambles. Maria, how are the field conditions?
Well, I just put my hand down on the turf because I saw Hayes slip both of those times, guys, and it is still a little damp. I think because of all the weather that has been in Tulsa the last couple of days, all that rain, it has really soaked into this turf. Now, I'm no turf expert, but it still is a little bit slippery, so pay attention to that as this game goes on.
Thanks, Maria. That's a great note. We've seen Hayes impacted by it a couple of times. Here's Simon stepping up on 1st and 10. Takeoff run with his legs. Out of bounds for a gain of 15, maybe 16 on the quarterback keeper.
Such a savvy vet, right? Understanding man coverage. Nobody's in the middle of the field. Right there, Ray Coney gets swallowed up by the offensive guard. Take off, use your mobility. James, you asked me what's the biggest difference between last year and this year. That facet of his game right there, right? Obviously not turning the football over, having 0 interceptions, but he's really taking another step when it comes to using his mobility.
Almost 200 yards on the season rushing the football. Another efficient performance today. 3 touchdowns, no picks.
He's got him.
Bombing it downfield. Wheeled in. JoJo Bermudez to the 5-yard line.
It's a nice job by JoJo Bermudez. Nice job by Evan Simon. It was subtle. He looks off the safety and he hits JoJo on this post route right there. He's manned up with number 21, Lento Smith Jr. He gives him a 2-way go. He breaks inside. Nice accurate throw by Evan Simon, leading him away from the safety to get that explosive catch.
A 50-yard pass play. This game has been full of explosives. 1st and goal from the 6. Smith stuffed. Maybe a half-yard. Ray Coney with his 9th tackle, a team high.
And they stem the line again. He comes down off the edge. Nice job right there being physical at the point of attack by Ray Coney. Right, we talked earlier when we talked to defensive coordinator Josh Reardon. Yes, he has a lot of tackles, but too many of them have been 4 or 5 yards down the field. This game, you can tell he's been adamant to read his keys, get downhill, and hold running backs to minimal gains.
Brings up 2nd and goal. Simon plants. Touchdown. Holloway. His 2nd receiving touchdown and another lead change. Temple on top.
Simple mesh concept. You bring 2 guys crossing patterns, one right to left, Kajaya Holloway. Right there, J.D. Drew is in trail position in man coverage. Nice accurate throw. And give some love to the big guys up front because that took a while for him to come from the right side to the left side. And look at the dance move, James. Look at the dance moves, right? He's feeling it right now. And we talked about it earlier, right? That's the 2nd time he scored on J.D. Drew. It'll be interesting. Does Josh Reardon start to make Elijah Green travel with Kajaya Holloway?
Back-to-back 75-yard scoring drives. Tulsa, then Temple. Owls in front, 28-24. This is a wild one in Tulsa. 17 explosive plays between these two teams combined today. 6-play, 75-yard drive for Temple.
See Evan Simon using his mobility right here. Look the safety off. Find JoJo Bermudez on a post route. And then right here, mesh concept. Find your big play receiver down the field. Kajaya Holloway. And look at the dance moves as he gets Temple Owls on the scoreboard.
This has been back and forth in this second half. Both quarterbacks putting on a clinic. Ensuing kick. Returnable for Washington. A jump cut. And he's out to around the 22-yard line. Baylor Hayes, Evan Simon, the two signal callers in this one. It's Tulsa's turn after that 6-play, 75-yard scoring drive for the Owls. (14 of 20, 243 yards, a couple of touchdowns. What's been the best part of his game today?
Cool, calm collectiveness, James. He doesn't seem to be rattled by any type of pressure. He's had some really good off-platform throws, but he's had some good job, has done a good job of maneuvering in the pocket as well, not just off-platform throws. Like right here, nice job, eyes down the field. Just throw it away. Simple plays like that, right? Poised for a young quarterback. Most young quarterbacks maybe would have panicked and tried to run right away. He keeps his eyes down the field. I've been pleasantly surprised of the poise of Baylor Hayes today.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Number 35, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's Tyrese Whitaker, the sophomore from there in Philly. 4th Temple penalty.
And my guy James was saying, we got a clean third quarter, no penalties. I said, watch there be a penalty right on the first play of this drive. And sure enough, Tyrese Whitaker, hands to the face, allows the Golden Hurricane to get more space right now. Prepare for a shot right here. This is around the area where you want to take a shot down the field.
I like to put unnecessary things in the universe. Richardson body slammed. What a tackle by Javier Morton. You can see why he was a 4-star out of high school. Originally committed to Alabama. Spent some time at Nebraska. The safety from Atlanta, Georgia.
Real physical tackle by Morton out in space, one-on-one. Called out an angle tackle. That was a nice job of getting Dominic Richardson down.
2nd down and 4 after a 6-yard gain that he paid for underneath. Fully formed tackle at the 40.
Morton again.
Back to back from Morton.
What a play by Javier Morton. Coming from his half-field safety position. We call that being in the alley, right? He does a nice job sawing down Brody Foley right there to get a loss on 2nd down.
That was the loss of 5. Makes it 3rd and 9. Hayes sees an alley. Hayes upended right at the marker.
I think they're going to give it to him.
Castleberry with his 8th tackle. It will move the chains.
And again, trying to cut in the open space. Seems like he slips a little bit. Takes a nasty shot right here. And awkward way to fall in the way he landed as a player down. But yeah, on those scenarios, I just want him to get north and south, right? Don't take some of those big shots that you've taken this game. Love the competitive nature, but you got to understand, a lot of people are dependent on you on offense, right? They need you in the game. Just don't take those shots right there. But I love that on 3rd and 9, he was decisive, got north and south, and picked up the first down.
An injured Owl is down. Khalil Poteet, the senior edge rusher from the Bronx. It's 28-24 Temple. The American on ESPN Plus is home to 40+ college football games, over 1,000 exclusive live events, and every American Conference championship throughout the season. For more information and to sign up, visit stream.espn.com so you can watch games like this. This one has had it all. 28-24 Temple. It has been back and forth since about midway through the 2nd quarter.
For sure. Again, I gave the analogy. It's been like a seesaw, right? Back and forth, momentum shift here and there. And James, it looks like whatever defense can come away with a stop is going to give their team the best chance to win this game.
Richardson right on cue. A lightning bolt.
They pulled the left guard, left tackle, number 73, Cam East. He does a nice job following his big offensive tackle, getting north and south on that counter play.
Here's the Tulsa tempo. And a hard tackle made on Emmers on the screen. Ordonez has had quite the day. An impressive outside linebacker for the Owls from Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, he's made plays not only in the run game, James, but also in the pass game. We remember that Brody Foyley one on the back shoulder fade. He does a nice job getting the PBU. Right there, a nice physical tackle on Dominique Richardson.
Second down and 10. Hayes, Richardson runs into a wall up front. Lost a yard, and it's 3rd and 11. Joseph Ozine popped him.
He has a nice job right there in the middle of the defense. You see the big nose tackle fighting off the block and getting that tackle for a loss right there. That's a nice job being stout in the run game and that A-gap. Head up over center, getting that extension, disengaging, and tackling Richardson for a loss.
Tulsa is 6 for 11 on 3rd downs. This is 3rd and 11. Could be 4-down territory. Hayes escaping. Hayes keeping the play alive. Improvising, firing.
Oh, he couldn't come down with it.
Hang on. 4th and 11.
James, this young quarterback is unconscious. I mean, the presence of mind. You're going to see him. He's going to roll to his right. They have him contained. Scoots back in. Rolls all the way back to his left. Sees his tight end. Brody Foley uncovers. Tries to get him in the back of the end zone. Just puts it out too far in front. And Foley could not come down with the circus catch. But what a play by Baylor Hayes. Just keep the play alive to give them an opportunity for an explosive touchdown there.
Tulsa is going to punt. Angus Davies, one of the better placement punters in the entire country. And it's caught by a Tulsa Hurricane inside the 5. It's down at the 4.
Well, James, we were saying, whatever defense can make a stop is going to give that team the edge. Temple right there was able to get off the field. Let's see if the Golden Hurricane defense can come up with a stop because, again, going back to last week, that has plagued them. They haven't played complementary football. Every time Tulsa scores on offense, they had given up an explosive or a touchdown. Last drive, the same thing happened. Their offense needs them in the worst way right here to come up with a big-time stop.
This is the first time that Temple's been backed up. Their field position rate has been outstanding. 28-24, Temple with a lead. Start this drive, their worst field position of the day. Their own 5-yard line. A bullet. Holloway on the receiving end. And it's a first down throw and catch.
And we saw that to start the drive last time on the scoring drive. Quick out route, timing base between him and Evan Simon. And again, Evan Simon, if the first read is open, he's going to throw it right there. Elijah Green, just a little bit too soft in coverage. Would like to see Coach Reardon allow him to play a little bit more bump and run, man coverage, so he can get in Kajaya Holloway's face.
Holloway again, coming back on a simple curl pattern, a gain of 9 right in front of Green.
And literally that was bump and run, right? He was able to get hands on him, but again, nice job by Kajaya Holloway, who's growing in this position. Remember, he was a quarterback, James. Nice job tempoing that route, right? Giving something different to Elijah Green. Looks like he's gonna run the go route, puts on the brakes, comes out of it, hits route for another first down catch for this Temple Owls offense.
It's the end of the 3rd quarter. After 3, Temple 28, Tulsa 24. Back and forth all second half. 21 combined points in the last 2 quarters. 21 in the second, 21 in the third. What will we see in the 4th? Stick with us. It's a close one here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You're watching the American on ESPN. Start of the fourth quarter, Temple 28, Tulsa 24, but the winds starting to swirl here in Tulsa, Maria.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit colder down here on the sideline as well, James. I just noted the wind starting to pick up, and we've seen a lot of passing plays from both quarterbacks, so it'll be interesting to see how that impacts play. In addition to it, it's starting to rain just a little bit down here on the sideline, so we'll see how that plays out in the fourth quarter.
Temple will run the football for a first down to pick up 3 with Ducker.
And James, anytime there's some precipitation, you always have to worry about ball security. So that'll be something that we watch, to Maria's point. If the rain continues to pick up, right, the ball security of some of these pass catchers and running backs.
There's only been 1 turnover in this game, and that was on a Baylor Hayes quarterback keeper. Temple recovered the fumble. That was in the first half. Ducker, right tackle with a lane, and Ducker out of bounds. First down run, 15 yards to move the chains. Champ Lewis pushes him out.
The explosive runs only happen when receivers are blocking. Look to the right of your screen, number 1 right there. Colin Chase does a nice job coming downhill, blocking the safety to spring their running back, Kavion Mason, right there for an explosive run on first down.
Ducker's up to 66 yards, has those 2 receiving touchdowns. First and 10, Temple. Play fake. Simon darts ahead for a gain of a couple. Makes it second down. This is a big drive. Temple trying to milk the clock. In Temple fashion, they're slow and methodical. One of the rare teams that are, in this era of college football, still huddling and playing at a slower paced offense.
Yeah, and if you're the Golden Hurricane defense, this is a massive drive. You talked about it, right? Temple is one of those teams that go through methodical drives that'll eat up 6, 7, 8 minutes on the clock. Right now, you can't allow them to do that and then score a touchdown at the end of the drive, because it's going to be tough sledding to come back in this game if you do that.
Temple got some pressure on the quarterback. It's third down after the incompletion.
And Josh Reardon talked about that, right? Just to help out also stopping the run. He said on first and second down, he might be a little bit more aggressive, start sending some pressure to get them in advantageous situations on third down so they can release their pass rush. So right here, 3rd and 9, right? Let's see if some of these pass rushers, we already saw Jaden Burnett have a sack get wiped away because of a horse collar. He's a guy who leads them in sacks. He's right here at the bottom of the screen on the right, number 11.
Pressure. Simon to the boundary. J.D. Drew on the coverage. 4th down.
Yeah, they decided to bring 5 and go man coverage right there. Nice job by J.D. Drew, who's given up a couple touchdowns. That's a big-time stop on third down. Look at him with the right hand. Make sure that Colin Chase, number 1, can't come down with that catch. Nice job by the Golden Hurricane defense getting off the field right there after their offense had to punt the last drive.
4th and 9, and that'll bring out Dante Atten to blast it away. High towering punt, fair catch at the 11. Contact, is there a flag? No. Tulsa will start this drive at their 11-yard line. 12:48 to play, Temple on top 28-24. Baylor Hayes, 17 of 24, 244, a couple of touchdowns. Can he will his offense to another go-ahead drive?
I mean, the kid has been unconscious at most times. He showed moxie, he showed confidence. Again, not just playing from within the pocket, out of the pocket too on some off-platform stuff. His mobility has also been a plus for the Golden Hurricane offense today.
On first down, Hayes batted towards the sideline. Incomplete. Penalty marker comes in.
I hope they're not trying to get Grayson Tempest on an OPI, because they got him earlier, and that time he actually does a really good job just posting up like a hitch route. I don't think, to me, that was an OPI. They were trying to get Dominique.
There's no defensive pass interference. The ball is tipped. Incomplete pass, second down.
2nd and 10. Thought they might pick it up.
Yeah, so rule of thumb, if the ball gets tipped at the line of scrimmage, the defender can be all over the receiver if that happens. It's a nice job by the crew coming together and picking that flag up.
This is the 4th straight game that Tulsa's young quarterback has been playing against a veteran guy, a senior, on the other sideline. The redshirt freshman Hayes is coming into his own. Richardson on the sweep, trying to hurdle a defender. Ahead for a chunk of 5, maybe 6. It's a more manageable 3rd down.
That's Eric Stewart, the linebacker, does a nice job chopping down Dominique Richardson right there, because that had an opportunity to be a big-time play. It's a nice job folding back inside and holding that to a small gain.
Temple defense trying to force a 3 and out. Tulsa is 6 for 12 on 3rd downs tonight. 3rd and 5, they need the 21. Pressure up the gut, Hayes sidestepping, slinging off the hands of Micah Tees. Make it step toe, I should say, rather, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, just put it out too far in front. Mesh concept again. Got crossers right in the middle of the field. Baylor Hayes just a little bit inaccurate. He tries to sidearm right there. You're going to see it. Watch him try to sidearm this. Right, just puts it out too far in front for a step toe. But that's another nice job by number 33, Curly Ordonez right there, to be right there in zone coverage to force that inaccurate throw.
The Temple Owls defense forces a 3 and out. Davies is an outstanding punter, drives it deep, and it's fair caught at the 35-yard line.
Timeout on the field.
12 minutes to go. Timeout on the field. Temple leads it by 4. One of the breakout quarterbacks this season in college football has been Evan Simon. 4 touchdowns today, no interceptions, hasn't thrown a pick all year.
Decisive with the football, efficient. That's what he's been all year long, understanding where the matchups are and how to take advantage of those matchups. See right here, Kajaya Holloway on this crosser for a touchdown. He's been what he's been all year long, efficient, decisive, and knowing where to go with the football.
15 for 20, 216 yards. And those 4 scores. RPO checks it down as he slips it to Colin Chase, and they throw a blanket on him after a gain of just a yard.
Nice job by number 21, Lento Smith Jr., who has him in man coverage. They motion Colin Chase from left to right. He has to get through a lot of traffic and saws him down for only a 1-yard gain.
Lento Smith, who arrived here on campus in early June, was just 158 pounds. He had stopped playing, was working a full-time job after Ferris State, ended their season back in December. 2nd down and 9. Snap throw to the outside. Chase wrapped up by Lento Smith, the man of the hour.
And I'm so glad he made another play, because an interesting story that Coach Reardon, the defensive coordinator, told us. He said it, James. He was working a full-time job, was going to move on with life, then found out he had eligibility, needed a waiver, got the waiver, but he gained 30 pounds in 1 month to be ready to play football. I mean, that's amazing what dedication will give you.
Had the protein powder on standby on his nightstand. 3rd down and 4. Simon, what a throw. 1st down. JoJo Bermudez. Evan Simon poised, accurate, that no panic demeanor.
Love the play design by Tyler Walker, the offensive coordinator. Sprint out, you roll everybody to the right, you push up 2 offensive players, then you roll out with JoJo Bermudez. They lose leverage and contain on him. Nice, easy pitch and catch between Simon and Bermudez for a 1st down.
Temple's out to its 48-yard line. Simon keeps it, picks up 4. 2nd down and 6 for the Owls, brought down by Burnett.
And that's the thing. He's sneaky athletic with his mobility, right? Just staying ahead of the chains. Zone read, the defensive end crashes down. That's a pull read. He pulls the ball, gets to the edge, gets 4 yards, and just stays ahead of the chains. Like, this is where Temple loves to live. They want to have long, methodical drives and score at the end of them, but they just want to stay ahead of the chains.
Less than 10 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. Temple looking for their 5th win of the season. Simon surveys, floats it. Holloway is out of bounds. Ruled incomplete, and it's 3rd down and 6.
And that's the matchup we were talking about, right? Kajala Holloway versus Elijah Green. Elijah Green does a really good job, chest to chest with Holloway, forces him to the boundary outside, forces him to the outline. That way, Holloway can't come down in bounds with a catch. That's a nice play by Elijah Green, being really aggressive at the catch point.
Temple is 2 for 7 on 3rd downs. They picked up their last one. On 3rd and 6, 4-man rush. Simon into traffic, batted away. Green and Williams on the coverage. It's 4th down.
What a play by Elijah Green. Just watch the patience to the left of your screen. He gets to the top of this route with Kajaya Holloway, and he doesn't interfere. No wasted step. When he triggers, he gets down in a hurry, bats that football away. That's their big-time corner on the outside. 2 plays in a row, helping this Golden Hurricane defense get off the field.
Green, just a sophomore. He was a track star and a star wide receiver in high school. Atten trying to coffin corner this punt, hangs it up there, and it bounces out of bounds at the 2-yard line. What a kick.
And James, he was fired up, right? He took his time with that kick. There's a reason, again, he has a single digit because he's one of their better weapons. You see Dante Atten pinning the Golden Hurricane deep to start their next drive.
Temple on top of Tulsa 28-24 with 9 and change to play in this fourth quarter. Baylor Hayes started 11 for 15, 203. That was in the first half. Here in the second half, 6 for 11, 41 yards. And he starts this drive from the shadows of his own end zone at the 2-yard line. Between the tackles, Richardson, forward progress will give him 1 out to the 3.
Nice job by number 18. Caden, super knot. He gets downhill. You're going to see him in the middle of your screen. He meets him in the hole, pushes him back. A slew of owls right there coming to his aid to help him out.
2nd down and 9 for the Hurricane. Foley shifts out wide towards the top of your screen. Hayes rolls the pocket. Hayes still on the run. Wings it out of bounds and incomplete. Caught by his backup quarterback, Kirk Francis.
Smart play right there by Baylor Haynes, right? Understanding when the play is over, not trying to force anything. You're backed up right here. Nice job rolling out to the right and just throwing that football away.
8:38 left. This is 3rd and 9. At what point, if you're Tulsa, do you start thinking about how many possessions you might have left in the game?
I mean, you still got 3 timeouts here, so if they don't pick up this first down, I'm almost certain that Trey Lamb will punt this football away. But you talked about it, right? The way that Temple has played for the majority of the year, they go on methodical drives and eat up the clock. But I will say this, James, it's been a back-and-forth defensive battle in this fourth quarter.
Yeah. Hayes rolling right. Still looking. Tosses. Took a hard hit.
Oh, no.
And Hayes is down.
It's good to see him up.
He's limping off towards the sideline. He got decked by Javont Brown.
This is what I was talking about earlier, James. You got to know when the play is over. Stop taking these unnecessary hits right there. Now, again, I love the competitive nature. You want to try to hold the ball as long as possible to see if anything opens up, but you cannot continue to take those type of shots. Again, your team needs you. Again, nice job by number 30, Javont Brown, tracking him down and getting that hit on him.
Davies powers this punt. Takes a Temple bounce.
Flag on the play.
Temple will start this drive in plus territory, but we'll check on that penalty. And I think the way Temple...
There is no foul for holding on the play. First down.
28-24. Temple tough. This is a tradition that goes way back. Players are awarded single-digit jersey numbers by their teammates, coaches, other staff. And here's the group this year, spearheaded by their quarterback, Evan Simon.
Yeah, talking to head coach Casey Keeler, he kind of changed the resume of how you get that number. And talking to him, he was like, when you're a single-digit guy, you're just not a guy. You're the guy. And that's why only 5 guys have been given that number. People wonder, the punter, Dante Atten, we saw on that last drive why he has a single digit. He's one of the better weapons on this team.
One of the top punters in the country. Between the tackles, Smith churning ahead for a gain of 4. 2nd down and 6. And I asked a moment ago about the Tulsa possessions, knowing they'd probably punt there, but it magnifies the importance of this drive.
Without a doubt, at bare minimum, if you're the Golden Hurricane defense, you can only give up a field goal attempt here. You can't give up 6 here just because Temple salts away so much clock the way they are able to be methodical with their drive. So they've been able to stand up multiple times in this fourth quarter to see if the Golden Hurricane defense has one more stop in them.
On 2nd down and 6, Hunter Smith slashes, has the first down with forward progress, a gain of 6 to move the chains.
That's nice contact balance right there. He absorbs the hit, falls forward, and gets the first down. See Hunter Smith on that zone play. What a job by the offensive line and the tight end, number 88 right there, Peter Clark. He's had some explosive catches. He caves the right side of that defensive line down and allows Hunter Smith to get downhill and get the first down.
1st and 10 with just over 7 minutes to go. Every Temple first down cuts about 2 minutes off the clock. 28-24 Owls. puts it in the belly of Smith. And Smith navigates left side for a gain of 3.
Big Ty Newhouse in the middle of that defense right there. But that's also something that defensive coordinator Josh Reardon talked about, like the leaky yardage, right? He makes contact with him for a 1-yard gain, and he falls forward for another 2, almost 3 yards. So that is something that the Golden Hurricane defense has to be mindful of, right? You cannot continue to give up the leaky yardage, because you talked about it, James. Every time they get a first down, that's another 2 minutes off the play clock.
2nd and
Game
7.
clock.
Game clock, play clock, all the stadium clocks. I'm with you. 2nd and 7. Simon looking left, zeroes in, back shoulder. Holloway couldn't get turned around, and that stops the timer, and it's 3rd down.
There's that matchup again with Elijah Green. I love that Coach Reardon is putting him more in bump and run. Get in his face. That's his best skill set, man coverage, right? Use that arm length at 6'2" to put hands on Kajaya Holloway and try to back shoulder fade right there. Nice job by Elijah Green being tight in coverage.
Third and 7. Temple is 2 for 8 on 3rd downs tonight.
And for them to find their slot receiver, JoJo Bermudez, he's the 3rd down guy.
Simon straight back, wings it, incomplete over the head of Smith. Had Robinson bearing down on him, it's 4th down.
And to the left of your screen, you're going to see JoJo Bermudez. He was open on that big, deep over route. He decides to go to the flat to his running back, Hunter Smith. Ball kind of sails on him. And we talked about, they're actually going to try the field goal attempt right here. When we talked to head coach Casey Keeler, he said he was comfortable with Carl Harden from 55 yards out. So this is within that range.
This is 51. .52 officially. It has the distance. He put it through. Carl Harden, a season long. And Temple has a touchdown lead with 6:04 to play.
Carl Harden with ice in his vein. Coach Keeler believed in his clicker, and he gets them up by 7 late in the 4th quarter.
Temple with a 31-24 lead after a 52-yard field goal by Carl Harden of the Temple Owls. And when we talked to head coach Casey Keeler, he said last year when their kicker, Maddox Tradio, was leaving, he came into Coach Keeler's office once Keeler got the job and said, look, I was the best kicker in the American last year, but the second best guy is here on this team, and that's Carl Harden. He's proving that today, especially with the 52-yarder, guys.
That may have been good from 60. A bomb.
Easily good from 60. I mean, he had some legs on that kick.
With a little south-southeast cross wind to deal with. Ensuing kick, touchback. 31-24. Now Baylor Hayes, the Tulsa quarterback, has missed on his last 5 throws. He's 0 for 5.
And it's tough when you're backed up at your 1-yard line. That goes back to Dante Atten pinning them back at the 1-yard line. Now they have more room to breathe. Look for Baylor Hayes not only to throw the ball down the field, but use his mobility. Like when they've had their better plays, it's been because he's been mobile. So look for him to use some of his mobility on this drive.
6 minutes on the nose to play on a homecoming Saturday. Hayes keeps it, and he gets bear hugged. No gain. Charles Calhoun makes the stop.
I mean, this have been some physical tackles. That's a nice job by Charles Calhoun. You see right there, number 77, Brody Duffel tries to cave him inside. He does a nice job with that left arm, getting extension, and then getting Baylor Hayes down for a small gain.
Hayes spins it deep, and it's nearly intercepted. Morton drifting into coverage, almost had the pick.
And that was a great play by number 19, Jalen Castleberry, because this was an underthrown ball. So many times, James, we see these underthrown balls go to DPIs. He doesn't panic at the top of the route. He stays on the top field shoulder, right? Grabs step toe at the last second. But number 15, coming from half field safety position, Javier Morton almost comes away with an interception.
3rd and long. Tulsa's 6 for 14 on 3rd downs. Hayes rolling out, looking for magic. Richardson, flags come flying in.
Ooh. Was that catchable is the question, though.
Pass interference, number 30, defense. The ball replaced at the spot of the foul. First down.
Javon Brown on the coverage.
Those are one of those plays we just talked about, right, James? An underthrown pass, and Javon Brown panics in man coverage. That's a nice job by Baylor Hayes getting outside the pocket, because number 25, Cameron Stewart, won right away on a spin move on number 77, Brody Duffel. He gets to the outside, tries to find a receiver down the field, ends up getting the DPI.
New set of downs, 1st and 10. Hayes down the sideline. Another flag. Avery Powell was on the coverage.
And that's tough. Again, another underthrown pass.
Number 29, defense. Automatic, first down.
But it's also a very savvy move by Landon Lucas. You're going to see it at the top of the route. Look to the left of your screen. Watch how he tries to fight back through, and he actually grabs Avery Powell right there, which influences the ref to throw the flag. You saw Avery Powell was clearly upset. He's like, ref, what else can I do? He's grabbing me.
6th Temple penalty. Tulsa's across the 50. Looking for the equalizer on the sweep. Booker tripped up. A gain of 2. 2nd down and 8.
What a run by Curly O'Donez, the middle linebacker. Look how he tracks this down, James. That's a receiver he tracks down in Zion Booker. What a job by the linebacker from Temple there.
He's had a big game. Hayes stepping into his throw. Deep shot. Reeled in. Josh Smith. It'll be 1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
And that's one of those passes Trey Lamb is like, don't throw it, don't throw it. But Josh Smith, again,
Personal
6'4".
Roughing the passer, number 52, defense. At the distance to the goal line, first down.
At 6'4", 225 pounds, he goes up and catches this ball right there. Number 24, Ben Osweke, is in the perfect position. He just loses the ball, and then you tack on the personal foul for the roughing the passer right here by number 52. That's a little ticky-tack for me right there, James. He kind of forearm shivered him in the stomach. I don't know if that's a roughing the passer call, but it doesn't matter because Josh Smith got the explosive down the field.
Foley's the quarterback, the big tight end, number 80. It's 1st and goal.
The clock will start on the snap.
4.5 minutes to go.
Now, we saw him last time at this Wildcat run the football. Could there be a little wrinkle off of this, right? Maybe a jump pass from Brody Foley.
Foley keeps it, lunges. No signal yet. Touchdown, Tulsa. Second rushing touchdown for the tight end. And Tulsa's a point away from knotting the score with 4:27 to go.
A nice job by Brody Foley. And number 2 right there, you see him becomes the lead blocker. A.J. Allen, his running back. Simple quarterback
The ruling on the
lead.
field is a touchdown. That play is on the further review.
He just follows his blockers, and with that big frame at 6'6", 260 pounds, looks like he found his way into the end zone. We'll wait to get the confirmation of that right now. It was close.
A pile of humanity at the goal line. I don't know how there could be an angle with anything to overturn this. 4:27 left. A 5-play, 75-yard scoring drive that took just 93 seconds for the Golden Hurricane.
And remember, James, they called it a touchdown on the field. So is there enough evidence to overturn this? Again, from our viewers' point and what we saw replay-wise, there were so many bodies in there. It was going to be tough for them to overturn this call.
Foley has caught 5 passes, a team high, and he's looking for his second rushing touchdown.
Ooh. Actually, from that angle, James, it looks like he might have been short. Now, the only thing is, was he on top of somebody's body? But it doesn't look like he was. It looks like that right cheek goes down maybe at the 1-yard line.
When he starts going down, he's still a long way from the goal line.
Correct. So maybe there is enough evidence to overturn this. I stand corrected. But again, they called it a touchdown on the field, so they have to have sufficient evidence to overturn this. But from that view right there, it seems like he's down right there.
And he's holding the football against his chest with his
Correct.
back to the end zone.
All right, James, it's been a while since we've done this. I'm going to say there's enough evidence to overturn this. This is going to be short. I believe it's going to be at the half-yard line. What do you say?
I want nothing more than to disagree with you, but I think you're right. Ligier, I think this is it.
Yeah.
I think we're on the same page. I think nothing could go wrong with our prediction. It's 100% going to be down at the 1-yard line.
And that's the thing. Remember, the side judge running in from the sideline didn't call it until the body started getting removed from the pile. So, again, it was hard to tell where that ball was, but great job by our camera crew zooming in on that right there. You talked about it. The ball was on his chest. He was trying to run in backwards. It seems like that right cheek might have hit short of the goal line.
Here it is.
After further review, the runner was short of the goal line. 2nd down.
We continue to bat 1,000. So that will make it from the 1-yard line, 1st and goal, make it 2nd and goal, I should say, for Tulsa. Baylor Hayes has a new career high, 287 yards passing. They'll keep Foley at the quarterback position and flank Hayes, the traditional QB, towards the top. Foley
Oh, he didn't
leaps.
get there.
He stopped again. It's 3rd and goal.
What a play by the Temple defensive front. Watch the penetration. He tries to go airborne. They go low and high. Nice job by number 18, Caton Supernot right there. He meets him at the goal line. Nice push also by number 40, Demerick Morris. Nice job by that Temple front and the linebackers.
3rd and goal. Spencer Kettleman is checked in at quarterback. He's under center. They give it to Richardson. Richardson fighting in. Touchdown, Tulsa. 31-30 Temple.
And James, that's a nice wrinkle because last week they brought in Stephen Kettleman and they ran the quarterback sneak. That time they faked that and then literally run the running back dive. Nice physical run. You see it right there. Dominique Richardson, he gets away from a blocker. Nice block by number 10, the defensive tackle, Tim Hardeman, on that lead play to spring Dominique Richardson in for that touchdown.
The point after is through, and we are deadlocked at 31 with 3:44 to go. 7 plays, 75 yards, 216. Got a little dicey there around the goal line, but Tulsa's able to punch it in, and we are tied.
James, you gotta love it when a defensive lineman gets to play at the fullback position.
Yeah.
I was able to do that a little bit in the league, man. It's always fun when you get to lead up and block somebody. Right there, Tim Hardeman does a really good job leading up for his running back, Dominique Richardson, getting him into the end zone to tie this football game up.
You were a defensive lineman.
It's wearing number 12 for Temple on the kickoff.
When you're in at fullback, is there a lot of blocking technique that you have to work through, or is it just, hey, go hit the guy?
No, there is, because you're thinking that, like, I'm a big guy, guys are just going to get out of my way. The one thing you never have presence of mind of is a lot of those linebackers and safeties go low on you.
Yeah.
And you're not accustomed to that as a defensive lineman. So, like, I had to realize, like, you got to be under control. That was a really good job by Tim Hardeman being under control, leading that block to get Dominique Richardson into the end zone.
Hardeman actually got a rushing touchdown earlier this season, had a 1-yard plunge. So they like him in that jumbo package. 31 all, 3:44 to go. Can Temple counter? This is a returnable kick for Bermudez. Dancing, and he's out of bounds, shy of the 20.
Really good coverage by the Golden Hurricanes special teams kickoff unit right there to pin them within the 20-yard line.
To get into field goal position, we'll say around the 35-yard line of Tulsa is within the wheelhouse of Carl Harden.
I mean, the way he get that last one, he might be good from the 40-yard line.
Okay.
So, like, with the game on the line, I was talking to head coach Casey Keeler. He's like, he's comfortable letting him kick from 60-plus because he has that type of leg, depending on how the wind is.
Evan Simon, 217 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Smith, battered after a gain of just a yard. Make it Ducker, I should say. Hit by Newhouse.
Yeah, if you're Temple right here, you want to make sure you use as much clock as possible. Obviously, you want the walk-off to win this football game, so not surprised at all that they came out running. They still have the complement of timeouts, and they have the 2-minute timeout as well.
On 2nd down. Complete out to the 30. 1st down, pitch and catch. Holloway, his big target at 6'4", 210.
I mean, watch him high point this to the right of your screen. That was a high pass. He high points the football, gets it into his chest, secures it, gets the 1st down. That's a big-time catch by Kajaya Holloway. So Temple taking his time. Like I said, they still have their 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout.
Temple's out to its 30-yard line. How will they manage the 2-minute timeout? How many plays do they feel comfortable running before the 2-minute TO? Up the gut goes Ducker, and he's wrapped up after a 2-yard pickup. Ray Coney, the stopper, his 13th tackle.
I believe they'll let this go all the way to the 2-minute because, again, this is an extra timeout here, and they still have their complement of all 3 timeouts.
Out to the 32.5. And Coach Keeler will take us to the 2-minute timeout. Tie game.
Timeout.
Even at 31 here in Tulsa. Well, on a day where both of these teams tried to establish their ground game, it's been the two quarterbacks who have shined. Look at the numbers from Evan Simon and Baylor Hayes, the senior and the freshman.
Yeah, it's actually been a defensive battle in the fourth quarter, but both of these quarterbacks have been really efficient. Evan Simon's from within the pocket, and you look at Baylor Hayes, a lot of his work has been done outside of the pocket on some of those off-platform throws.
Plowing ahead, making it a manageable 3rd and short. Mekhi Johnson brings down Ducker. 3rd and 2.
Be interesting if Tyler Walker puts this on the offensive line and tight ends and gives the ball to Jay Ducker, right? 3rd and 2. And if they get 1 yard, how aggressive are they? Do they potentially go for it on 4th down?
Inside of a minute and a half. Temple's 2 for 9 tonight on 3rd downs. Run play, Ducker straight ahead. Did he get there?
I don't think he got it. Decision time right here for Casey Keeler.
4th and inches. And Tulsa calls a timeout.
That's a smart timeout by Trey Lamb, right? Because either way, most likely Casey Keeler was going to maybe call timeout, but if not, you don't want that clock to just continue to dwindle down, right? You want to save some time if Temple decides to punt it.
4th down, short of line to gain. Timeout, Tulsa, the first of the half. The 30-second timeout. Please set the clock to 1 minute, 12 seconds. 1:12.
4th and inches.
We've seen Temple be aggressive. They were aggressive in that Navy game, right? They were aggressive earlier here, 4th and 2 from the goal line. They went for it on 4th down and got stopped. Looks like Casey Keeler is probably going to put his offense back out there on the field.
He's also trying to challenge the spot.
From our view, it looked like he was short. Right now, it was close, but it looks like he was short of that 1st down. Get one more look at it on this replay. It's a nice tackle by number 33 right there, William Alexander. Exactly. He got turned sideways on that contact from William Alexander. And Casey Keeler will send out his offense. And if I'm Tyler Walker, I'm putting it on my offensive line again and my tight ends, right?
They lead the nation in 4th down conversion rate.
Just trying to get him to jump off sides. Oh, looks like they're just trying to get him to jump off sides, and they may punt this.
Cat and mouse. Play clock at 5 and timeout. Temple.
Timeout. Temple, the first of the half. 30 seconds.
And James, what a great job by the Golden Hurricane, right?
We always say 1 minute, 12 seconds, 1:12.
We always say earmuffs in that scenario, right? Don't let the inflection of the snap count from the quarterback get you to jump off sides. That's a great job by everybody being disciplined, nobody lining up off sides, and then also nobody jumping off sides to give Temple a free 1st down.
I was about to jump off sides. Simon was really selling it.
Well, that was a really good job by offensive coordinator Tyler Walker, right? He dispersed them from the huddle really fast, and then you see Simon run up there and get up under center.
Yeah.
So that's a nice job, right, by the Tulsa defense not being influenced by Evan Simon. And now, again, this is the cat and mouse game. Casey Keeler called timeout, but it looks like the offensive line is coming back out there on 4th down.
They lead the nation in 4th down conversion rate. You have a 5th-year senior quarterback. You're on the road, a minute 12 to go. I love it.
I love the aggressiveness right here. And you have a big physical back, right?
Yeah.
Jake Ducker, 5'10", 210 pounds. He's like a fire hydrant. He usually never goes down on first contact.
The snapper moved the ball to the line again. It'll be reset.
Ooh.
Grayson Maines is the center. Fourth and inches. Ducker stacked up.
It was going to be close. It looks like they may have gave him on the second effort.
He's got it.
It was close, though. It's a nice get out by number 88 right there in the middle. Mekhi Johnson, he knocks the guard back. There isn't much room there, but Ducker continues just to drive his feet is that it ends up getting the first down.
That is all lower body. To the outside, Ducker dances out of bounds after a gain of 5. Inside of a minute to go, that stops the clock. Temple has 2 timeouts, 2 left for Tulsa with 56 seconds, and it is starting to pour rain here at H.A. Chapman Stadium.
And I love that play design by Tyler Walker. You pick up the first down on a inside dive play, and then you just get Ducker to the sideline, right, to save your timeouts, you get positive yardage, and he gets out of bounds.
2nd down and 5. Simon to the outside. Ducker on another route brings it in right at the stake. It's 3rd and 1, shoved out by Green.
Just want to play it forward, right? If Temple was able to get a couple more first downs. I wonder if that line changes now with the precipitation coming. We already saw Baylor Hayes a few times, right? Trying to plant, slip, right? That can affect the kicker too as well. So I guarantee Casey Keeler isn't going to be comfortable trotting out a 60-yard field goal here. He's going to want it to get it inside 50 yards.
52 seconds left. To be comfortable, Temple needs probably close to 20 more yards. Here comes the blitz. Underneath, he checks it on the outside to Holloway. A backpedaling 2-handed grab at the 43.
And James, that connection's been there all day. We call that a speed out, right? That's a timing-based route between the quarterback and receiver. And Evan Simon was actually a little bit late on that. We saw that Kajaya Holloway had to turn around and backpedal to catch that football.
49 seconds to go. Temple is marching. The last 3 plays, 5, 4, 8 yards. 1st and 10. 4-man rush. That one's too tall. Same pattern, wanted Ducker. It's incomplete.
It's a great job up front, defensive line, getting your hands up. We always had a rule, James, you can't get to the quarterback. Get in the vision of the quarterback's face. Get your hands up in those passing windows. Nice job out of the defensive front right there from Tulsa.
2nd down and 10. 45 seconds to go. Tied at 31. Simon looking right. Avoiding pressure. Submarines at the 49. It's a Tulsa sack. Ty Newhouse.
But it starts with number 32 up there. Look at him on the right side. Number 32, Hudson Ball, does a nice job bending the edge. He forces Evan Simon to step up into the pocket, and Ty Newhouse, the big nose tackle, finishes the play. But it all starts with number 32. He bluffs like he's dropping in coverage, adds on to the rush, forces Evan Simon up into the pocket. Ty Newhouse comes away with the sack.
What's the call on 3rd and 16?
Yeah, if you're Temple right here, you want to get at least half of this back, right? Because that would be in the range of your kicker, Carl Harden. You can't take a sack right here. If you do, the clock continues to run, and expect Tulsa to burn a timeout right away to set up their 2-minute offense as well. But if you're Evan Simon and you're these pass catchers and your offensive coordinator, Tyler Walker, right? You want something where you get the ball out of his hands extremely fast. Would not be surprised if Josh Reardon decides to send some more pressure right here to force the clock to speed up for Evan Simon. Get the ball out of your hand, get positive yards, set your kicker up for an opportunity to try to win this game in regulation.
3rd and 16 with 39 seconds left. Temple's down to 1 timeout.
Here comes the pressure.
Simon. Incomplete. Green on the coverage. And it's 4th and 16. Tulsa brought the house.
And that's why I said, James, Josh Reardon's going to be aggressive here. So if you're Tyler Walker, right, short routes, right, allow your guys to catch it and run after catch. That was a long developing comeback route by Kajahi Holloway. Right there, nice job at the top of the right by Elijah Green, batting that football away. And then Evan Simon isn't able to step up into that throw because of the pressure.
Coney was in his grill. Atten, high, shorter punt. angles it out of bounds. And they mark it out at the 12-yard line. 27 seconds left. Tulsa has 2 timeouts.
Now let's play it forward. If you're the Golden Hurricane, you want to get to at least the 35, 37-yard line. Talking to head coach Trey Lamb, he said Seth Morgan, game on the line. He's comfortable with him kicking it from 55 out. So right around the 37-yard line is where you want to get.
Baylor Hayes has 287 yards passing, a couple of touchdowns, completing 60% of his throws. Over 400 yards of total offense.
Oh, looks like they're going to play for overtime.
Tulsa lining up in the victory formation, or the overtime formation with 27 seconds left. Hayes drops to a knee, and that'll run it down to 000, and we will play an overtime session tied at 31.
A little bit surprised with 2 timeouts. They didn't get a little bit aggressive. I would have tried something simple like a screen play, speed sweep on the first play. If we get an explosive off of that, then go hurry up offense, you have your 2 timeouts. But Trey Lamb decides to go for overtime instead.
That's the end of regulation. The coin toss is coming up next for overtime, even at 31.
Okay. Temple, you're the visitor. What's the call? Heads is the call. There's a tails. You want defense? Defense. Tulsa's won the Charles. We chose defense. You want to get this in the field?
Tulsa
Temple
won the toss.
First and 10, 25.
It'll be Temple's football first. Teams want to play defense first in overtime. Here's a look at the rules. We just had the coin toss. Now each team will get a possession from the 25-yard line. The first 2 possessions in overtime. Then after that, you must attempt a 2-point conversion in the second overtime after a touchdown. The third overtime, we're just alternating 2-point conversions back and forth until we have a winner. Maria has an update on the weather. It is really starting to come down.
Yeah, you guys are lucky that you're up in the booth because it's certainly not pleasant down here on the sidelines. The rain has certainly picked up. Multiple players putting more towels in their back pockets. I did my hand test on the turf again, and it feels even slicker than it did earlier in the game. So not a fun time to be standing on the sideline, and I'm sure it's not too pleasant playing football, but Lige, you might know a little bit more about that.
Lige, what position does rain like this impact the most?
Definitely the pass catchers and ball carriers as well, right? We talked about how the precipitation can really hurt with ball handling, like the quarterback center exchange, also the quarterback running back exchange.
Simon has a man open. Chase is down at the 1-yard line. On the first play of overtime, a frozen rope, and his man is right there.
They run 2 posts, one from the right side, one from the left side. Right there, Colin Chase gets left in coverage. Elijah Green's in trail technique. He loses them. Colin Chase with a big-time catch on that first play in overtime.
Temple trying to kill all the suspense. First and goal from the 1.
But again, James, with this type of rain, right, you have to be worried about the quarterback center exchange, also the quarterback and running back exchange as well.
Grayson Maines is the center. Transfer from South Carolina originally, multi-year starter. Play fake, back of the end zone, wide open, touchdown, Holloway. And Temple strikes first in the OT session.
So much for them being worried about the inclement weather and not throwing the ball down the field. That's back-to-back passes by Evan Simon. That's a nice dot, finding his big receiver, Kajaya Holloway, in the back of the end zone, down the back line. Nice job, presence of mind, Holloway staying in bounds to get that touchdown and get the Owls on the scoreboard first in overtime.
Simon's touchdown to interception numbers don't look real. For the season, he's up to 21 touchdown passes and 0 picks. And the point after is true. Temple leads 38-31. Now Tulsa gets a chance from the 25-yard line with their redshirt freshman quarterback Baylor Hayes.
And if you're Baylor Hayes, right, it's all about taking care of the football, right? The football is everything right here. So again, we talked about it when Temple had the ball, right? The quarterback center exchange, the running back to quarterback exchange as well. And if you're pass catchers, right, you got to secure that football. When it's slick, it's easy to rip that ball out of your hands. So if you're Baylor Hayes, take care of the football here.
How many overtime games did you play in?
That's actually a good question. I don't even know if I've ever played in an over. Actually, I have one in the NFL. That's it. I didn't play one in college.
In the NFL. I just wonder in college, knowing that, hey, it's overtime, you've got 4 downs essentially,
Correct.
all that game management, clock management stuff goes out the window.
And that's exactly why if you win the coin toss, you want to go on defense first, because now you know what you have to match, and now you get a free down, right? You get 4 downs to score a touchdown.
On 1st and 10, they'll run it with Richardson, looking to turn the corner. He's got a nice block on the edge by Foley, springing him free for a 1st down run.
I mean, what a block. Look to the left of your screen. Brody Foley, pancake block right here to spring Dominique Richardson on the edge on that 1st down run to get at least 10 yards and keep them ahead of the chains.
1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Hayes keeps it, planted at the 11. Got just a couple. It's 2nd down and 8.
And that was actually a really good read. Triple player down, but he's going to get up. By Baylor Hayes pulling that football because Richardson tried to get to the edge, but the Temple Owls were there. Remember, that was the play he had earlier this game where he fumbled.
Ordonez and Morris combined to pancake the quarterback. 2nd and 8. Empty set. Presley on the sweep. Presley trying to snake through, and he's wrapped up at the 8-yard line. 3rd down for the Hurricane.
And that's number 34. London Hall does a nice job disengaging at the linebacker position. There's a player down right now.
Tackle.
Official timeout for an injury to a defensive player.
Avery Powell, who's had a nice game for the Owls.
It's actually his second time being down, too. Right there, a little friendly fire from number 34, London Hall. Going to see it right here as they're both trying to make this tackle. London Hall spins around, I believe accidentally hip checks Avery Powell right there. And he looked like he was in excruciating pain. So I talked about it earlier, what he means to this defense. He's a converted corner that has feistiness and aggressiveness at the safety position. So hopefully he's okay and he's able to get up and go to the sideline on his own power.
After this one, Tulsa has a bye, and then at FAU, and then it's Oregon State here at home, at Army, and UAB with their interim coach to wrap up the regular season on November 29th. Coach told us if they could have one game back, it would be week 2 at New Mexico State. Tulsa's 2-5. Striving to get to a bowl game under first-year head coach Trey Lamb.
And that's a tough scene. You see it at the top of your screen. Avery Powell getting helped off by trainers. Seems like he can't put much weight on that knee, so that's a tough blow. The only thing is they play a lot of guys in that secondary. Pooh Lawton, who's made a couple plays in this game, most likely comes into the game, number 16.
Temple has East Carolina, then at Army, Tulane, and at North Texas. A tough road ahead for the Owls. Off to their best start since 2019. They play a lot of guys on defense, over 30 per game. 3rd and 5. Hayes, this is overtime. Hayes grabbed by his foot and brought down at the 9. No gain. Eric Stewart with the tackle.
And that was a great open field tackle because it looked like he was out leveraged right there. Nice job being able to get Baylor Hayes down. Also, I believe number 33 was right there. Look at him. Curly Ordonez would not be denied to the quarterback.
That's their one for the first overtime period. 30 seconds.
4th and 6 from the 9-yard line. Pouring rain, overtime. Tulsa here at home on homecoming. Down by a touchdown. The season numbers 15 of 25. They've hit on their lone 4th down today. Is it Brody Foley time?
You would think so, right? He's been their big playmaker today. Also, we've seen Zion Booker make some plays down the field as well. Josh Smith, right? He had that big catch on the post in between 2 defenders. He's a big body guy. It's not like it's 4th and goal, right? You can still get a first down here. So look for something at the chains. Look for maybe a rub route. And also look for them to move the pocket for Baylor Hayes. That way he has an option to maybe even take off with the football if nothing's open.
Tulsa's averaging almost 16 yards per completed pass. They would take 6 here. 4th and 6 from the 9. This is the game.
Brody Foyle down here at in the boundary.
Temple called a timeout.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Temple. Their timeout for the first overtime period. 30 seconds.
These 2 quarterbacks combined have 7 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Both guys have been really efficient putting the ball in the air. Eric Simon more in the pocket. Evan Simon more in the pocket, right? And then we've also seen Baylor Hayes be able to use his mobility to get out to throw the ball down the field. And that was actually a nice timeout by Casey Killer. A little bit of gamesmanship. Wait till Tulsa disperses what formation they're going to be in. Get a look at it, call timeout, regroup, so you get everybody on the same page.
This has been one of the best games of the day in college football. 38-31 in overtime. 2 first-year head coaches. A lot to like for both programs. Much improved on both sides from a season ago. And this is 4th down for the Golden Hurricane. With the game on the line, they need a first down to extend it. We're in overtime and they're down by a touchdown. Temple scored on just 2 plays the first time that they had the ball here in the OT. Hayes scrambling, firing,
Oh, what a catch.
Touchdown, Tulsa. Second touchdown of the game for Foley. And Tulsa can tie with a point after.
And it looks like Hayes may be staying out on the field. They could potentially go for two, but what a throw off platform. James, we talked about it. Both quarterbacks being efficient. Nice job right there by Brody Foley. 6'6", 245 pounds, becomes essentially a power forward. He boxes out number 15, Javier Morton, back shoulder for a touchdown, and now they're going for the win.
2-point conversion. If they get it, it's a Tulsa win. If they come up short, Temple takes it. Foley's in.
Pop pass.
Jump pass.
Oh.
It's down. Incomplete. Foley lined up at quarterback.
Try is no good.
And the tight end couldn't get it over the top. The 2-point conversion is no good.
But I think the ball slipped out of his hand, and we talked about the precipitation, but he also got hit while he was throwing it. I mean, Julian Roberts, number 84, he got hit right when he was throwing. He was open. He was open now. Number 15, Javier Morton, comes over late, but they had exactly what they want. And I talked about it earlier, James. Watch for that wrinkle in regards to they keep running this dive play with Brody Foley. Look for the jump pass, and sure enough, they ran it right there. Foley gets hit when he throws it, isn't able to find Julian Roberts.
Maria is with Evan Simon, who had 5 touchdowns tonight.
Evan, a back-and-forth game the entire night. Your team wins it in overtime. What did it take for the Owls to pull this one out?
One word, and that's culture. You know, this place here at Temple is changing. You know, we got 5 wins now, and we're looking forward for our 6th, and just so proud of this football team, and just the up and down part of the game, and just culture.
5 touchdowns for you. What did it take for you to just continuously stay locked in, especially when your team was down?
It's simple. I'm being put in these fantastic positions, you know, by Coach Walker and his play calling, and it starts with the front 5, you know. They've taken so many leaps from last year, and couldn't be more proud of these guys. I owe them wings or something.
The defense comes up with a big stop. How proud are you of that side of the ball as well?
Just that's culture as well, you know, up and down throughout the game, and offense needs defense needs special teams, stuff like that, and just so proud of this football team.
Stay proud, and then also go buy some wings. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Culture.
Guys.
The word of the day, culture.
Temple tough. Temple tough. They handle adversity the right way. Things are changing up there in Philadelphia.
They have their 5th win of the season for the first time since 2019. 38-37, our final. In overtime, the Owls get the road win. For Lige Duzable, for Maria Travelpiece, Jeff Bowen, our producer, our entire crew, I'm James Westling, saying so long from Tulsa, Oklahoma. This has been a special presentation of The American on ESPN.